Hello, Chris and Chris. Or Yentos and Chris. So I think I'm mostly ready to get started. I'm just looking over the New Game Plus options. I think everything's set up. Based off discussions from last time. So this will be interesting. I can't say I've ever tried like a challenge run-ish kind of approach for Berseria. So I'm just thinking about things. So like technically we're starting with a little bit of an enhancement, but chaos mode might make up that little health bonus. Oh, I see you found the Dirty Dancing. I've also seen that. Ready for Dirty Dancing is so long that it moves on to a second line. I might have to make it a little bigger for the stream starting soon. But yes, I did add the Zavid clip. Now, one other thing I just want to ask before I give a proper introduction to the game. So, for the sound-wise, was that alert sound okay? So I realized I could have separated the sound between the normal game audio and the alert, so I could kind of fine-tune the alert without it being impacted by the other settings. So if it needs to get louder, let me know. If it's too loud, I can adjust it separately without impacting the game audio. That was my big concern. I was kind of thinking about it the past couple streams where I'm like, you know, I've made it a lot quieter in general, but I don't know if that was for the best. You actually didn't hear it. Interesting. Okay, well, I'm gonna look into it. So you lit up on my normal audio and also lit up on the Twitch alert box for me when it played. So I'll have to see what's going on with that. It could be just something silly, like I forgot to set a sound channel. One moment. Set to monitor and output. Oh, I think I see what happened. Oh, I see. I think I see what happened. That's not your fault, chat. That's not your fault. You could blame me. I think I forgot to output it to the actual stream audio. So, oops.
Extra crispy.
Hey, Kirk, how's it going? So let's switch over to the game itself. Give the game a moment. Yeah, I'll have to touch the Twitch alert sound, I think, later. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Oh, you could hear it? Yeah, I just turned on one of the sound channels. So it has nothing to do with the alert itself. It's just an internal setting. So let's give a formal introduction to the game itself since we've switched over there. We'll ignore audio hiccup issues. So I basically just went through and select time for an actually good Tales game. It is true. So basically what we're looking at is a New Game Plus option. I will not be doing a fresh start for the actual recorded playthrough. I'll still commentate as though we haven't seen it before, so I will try to give very minimal spoilers. But I just want to very briefly discuss this run as kind of an intro to the rest of the game. So I'm looking over to carry over just like a bare minimum of things. So I would recommend if you were doing a New Game Plus and you decided not to take every option, I think we'll be taking advantage of this particular option, the carryover Ventite. My goal is to basically play it on the highest possible difficulty, and from a vanilla standpoint, you are not able to select the highest difficulty from the start. It actually takes quite a while to unlock it. So this should let us play Chaos, which I believe is the 6th difficulty and is indeed the highest difficulty. Now, one other thing I'm going to do for you, the viewers, so you have to see way less grinding, is I'm carrying over all the cat spirits, a little bit of herb enhancements, and half price enhancing plus double gold. Just because I want this to focus weirdly on more of a plot standpoint, since I'm going to be doing a lot of chaos fights anyway, they're going to take longer, so I don't see a real need to kind of double punish myself. Chat's telling themselves not to spoil, it's true. It's true. It's really hard not to. So I think you need roughly 1200 grade. I think it's like 1200 or 1200 and 100 if you add up all these individual options just to get it. But we'll be continuing from here. So let's start the game up, and then I'll go through my normal spiel as we go through it. So this looks good to me. Again, chat, if it's slightly too loud, please let me know.
They're already demons. You hide here, Velvet. I'm going back to help Celica.
I'm so scared. Arthur, please.
You'll be just fine with these. Celica enchanted them herself. They'll give you the courage you need to survive.
They will?
Sure they will. Now, have I ever lied to you? I'll come back for you once Celica is safe. It's scary, but don't give in to fear. Don't despair, no matter what.
I won't. I promise. After all, I'm Laffy's older sister, and your student.
On that day, the world began to change. Men and beasts possessed by evil spirits, hunting and killing anyone they could. But even in the depths of despair, only two things matter to me. The taste of blood-soaked flesh, and revenge upon one man.
Laffy, time to wake up. Okay. Morning. I told want you to stop calling me Luffy. I'm not a little kid anymore.
Grumble, grumble, huh? You must be feeling good.
Bit of a fever, I'm afraid. At least the new medicine's supposed to come today. Until then, you stay in bed, got it? What? Aw, but I wanted to go to the Cape. Sorry, you'll have to wait. Can I at least read a book?
Don't trouble your sister, Laphicet.
I didn't mean to.
Arthur, done chopping firewood?
Yeah, enough to last through winter. But there's something else I need to take care of. Sorry, but medicine money will have to wait a bit.
I can earn it myself then. Bring down a few prickle boars, and I'll have plenty to offer in trade.
On your own?
Arthur's first maxim. Plans must be solid and reactions flexible.
All right. I shouldn't doubt my students' abilities. Sorry to put you in a spot.
I'm sorry, Velvet.
Whoa, hey! What's everyone apologizing for? We're a family, right?
Right. I'll see you later.
I whipped up some porridge for you, okay? Be back by evening.
Thank you. Be careful, Velvet.
Okay, we are back into the game proper. So the chat was asking if I remember the costumes. Don't worry, chat, I remembered. I did not want to spoil for people that have not seen the game before who exactly would be in our party. So I think because I clicked out briefly, it's giving me the PC controls, but we're going to go ahead and ignore that. I'm not using the keyboard and mouse. So welcome to Berseria. Let's take a quick look at our inventory before we go any further. So the chat has graced me with a bonus 1000 health, so thank you, chat. Let's take a look at what abilities I have access to. What abilities I have access to. Oh no, chat. Oh, that is most unfortunate for the enemy. So people playing for the first time will not realize how absolutely stupid gouging spin is. So chat, I think we all know what is happening here. Listen, I don't need other moves. Like if I really need to do them, I guess I could leave like harsh rebuttal in here. That's fine. I think that alone, like, just look at the art usage from our last playthrough to this one, like, that's all I have to say. Definitive. So let's go through, observe some of the option menus, and then I'll talk more about the game proper. So I will leave it on the villager outfits for now. We're going to be getting quite a few throughout the game. Technically, we've carried over all the costume pieces that we've picked up. So I will leave it there. But I will say for now, I will say the outfit is off limits until we technically get the ability to do it later. Let's see. So we're only starting with 2,000 geld. I think I just want to see one other thing so I could get an idea. So I just want to see what specifically I could do here. I just want to go through the Ventite again since it's been a while. Okay, so these are the ones that just have to do with derivatives. That's fine. And the only other thing I just want to make sure is that if you happen to be doing a new game, just remember to use the Adventurer pack. We're just going to go ahead and do that. So we're just going to grab all the free DLC items. So if people get the game for the first time, just remember to come into here. So you're going to be seeing a lot of powders and fluids. I will not go into a lot of details for those at the moment, as we'll be touching upon that later. I just want to check one other option, and perfect, we are starting on Chaos. So for people normally starting through the game, it will default you on normal. I think the highest it lets you get up to is hard by default, but we're going to try to beat it on the highest difficulty all the way through the game. It's kind of an added challenge. See, chat is all over the special fights. Don't worry, chat, I did not forget about the special fight. I will try to show that off. It will probably be very hard, given that I do not have good equipment, but we can see how it goes. So, when we get out of this cutscene, I'll talk a bit more about the game.
Rest up, all right?
Don't forget to take some gels with you. You know, you're careless sometimes.
I'll be fine. You just make sure.
Don't worry about me. I'll be in bed resting.
You better be. Keep warm, and no going outside.
Sheesh, you don't trust me at all. It'll get dark if you don't leave soon.
So I'll just read this last little bit of dialogue. So Laphicet saying, "Do you need to be quite so suspicious of me? I do have feelings, you know." And Velvet's like, "Sorry, I'm just worried, not suspicious, alright?" There we go. So let's take a step outside. We'll be climbing through the house later. So, I want to say almost all the tutorials are intact between a new game and a new game plus. So if you happen to forget the controls, the game will have mercy on you. I think there's only one offhand I recall not working, and that's when we unlock the blast gauge later. It just skips it, I think, for whatever reason, in New Game Plus. All the other tutorials are here. So that's good for me, because I actually forgot which button was the area map. Thanks, Zesteria. Thanks for making it, like, L2. It's just confusing me completely. So they put it to a much more reasonable button. So basically, it's just saying we have a mini-map, we have a world map. If we hold the rightmost button, we'll get a constant update on what we should be doing.
Prickle boars, I'd better try the tranquil woods outside of town. This is for Laffy's medicine, so I can't mess this up.
So we have a mysterious number to the right side of the screen that has not been specifically talked about yet. Normally we would not have any of that number, but that is to save a lot of time in the future. Just acknowledge that this is just the benefit of the New Game Plus. So one big difference you'll see between Zesteria that we just played in this game is that there are going to be shinies everywhere, chat. Everywhere. I think it makes the dungeon exploration a lot more interesting to me. Just because, like, you could potentially get random ingredients or experience or things you could sell for money. So I think we ported over our items from the previous playthrough, but not our equipment. So we have a lot of the cooking ingredients out of the way for later. Chat is just absolutely dunking on Zesteria at the moment. I mean, I don't blame them. Oh, look, chat, our first skit, dinner plans.
Come to think of it, Arthur hasn't requested his favorite dinner in a while. There's been so much going on, and the village always has him out hunting. Maybe he's just worn out? That does it. I'll cook him up some prickle boar stew, just like Celica taught me. That ought to pick him right up. A healthy portion of nourishing meat cures fevers and weariness alike.
So one huge difference between Zesteria and Berseria, which is why I'm kind of taking some breaks in between, is that there is a lot of spoken dialogue. They voiced a ton of the NPCs, and we could tell which ones will generally result in vocalized lines with the little exclamation marks. But this game overall, I feel like, is just a huge step up. I cannot praise this game enough. So we're just getting a little dialogue here. So one thing I want to preface is that this particular scene, I would say going to the end of, I would say, the intro arc, I would highly recommend you go back and watch this later on, because this is core for something that happens in a later chapter. I will remind you, if you want to see all the details of something that happens later, please pay attention to all the dialogue and what people are doing here, because most of it will come up again later. But right now, we're in a kind of fairly innocent-looking village. So we're seeing a villager here saying it's warming up. The leaves change earlier every year. I wonder what could be causing it all. Well, we'll keep that in mind. So now we'll go over to this other villager. So he's saying that somebody's talking to himself, and that him appears to be Arthur. So he says, now that you mention it, Arthur used to have the same habit, didn't he? Ooh, actually, let's make an exchange. So the him in that subject was not Arthur. It sounds like they're talking about our brother. Okay, there we go. And we got Laphicet that it was we got confirmation, excuse me, that it is Laphicet. So this other villager says, it's completely true. When I was heading back from the shop, I saw Laphicet talking to someone, but he was all alone. Isn't that right, Othello? Othello says meow. So now we're getting a little more kind of flavor for Velvet. So right now, so they're thinking that there's somebody named Ceres, who we haven't seen yet. And apparently Laphicet was at the store alone. So we're getting a little bit of intrigue here, which I feel like I will try not to compare Zesteria and Berseria too much, but I feel like that is just one big aspect of why I like this game, is that a lot of the minor dialogue really fills in the plot details, as well as give it, I think, a more interesting setting.
Ever since the opening 7 years ago, this world's really gone crazy. Famine, freezing weather, and worst of all, this demon blight that's turning people into monsters.
I can't believe that people can really turn into those things. It's a nightmare.
Does no one know what causes demon blight? Or how to heal it?
No. What we do know is that when people turn into those monsters, I mean, demons, they gain incredible strength and attack humans on sight.
Whoever named it the opening named it right. It's like someone opened a portal directly to hell.
Come to think of it, Celica died during the opening, didn't she? It might be a good thing she died when she did. She didn't have to suffer through all of this.
It's good that my sister died? How can you say that?
Sorry. I didn't mean it that way.
You're a real idiot, you know that? Sorry about him, Velvet.
So before I comment on it, let's see what else this particular owner has to say. So he says, thanks to the fence keeping the demons out, the village is barely half the size it was 10 years ago. Still, I guess the population is also a third of what it was, so it's not as crowded at least. What is worse, do you think? Becoming demon grub or slowly starving to death? The owner's wife just says, don't talk like that, but when I go, I want it to be quick and painless. So, again, I feel like these initial conversations really set the tone and the mood for exactly what to expect for the rest of the game. Let's see what these kids have to say.
Hey, Velvet. Is Laphicet feeling better?
No, not yet. He needs a little more rest, I think.
Aw, too bad. Tell him I'm looking forward to hunting beetles with him again when he's better.
Right, got it.
Laphicet's illness sure is persistent.
Yeah, that fever still keeps coming back, like clockwork. The medicine always helps a little bit, but still.
That sounds terrible. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help.
Thanks, but we'll be fine. At least we've got Arthur to take care of anything that needs muscle. And before he came, Celica raised me and Laffy all by herself. So now I have to do my best too.
You sound just like your sister. That optimism must run in the family.
I do? That's nice of you to say.
So we'll talk to each of the two people here. So one thing I just want to note is that they do actually move their lips during the vocal scenes. I was trying to show it off without saying anything, but that, if you're wondering what I was doing with the camera, depending on who is actually vocalizing the line, you actually see them talk, which I think is kind of a nice touch. So now we're talking to this little girl, and they're saying that Laphicet has a fever, and Velvet's hoping the fever will break. And now girl's mother is concerned because they saw a bunch of demons near the village. Be sure to lock up tight. That's not a good thing. What do you think, chat? Demons outside the village? I'm sure nothing will go wrong. So one thing I want to talk about here...
I should probably stock up on a few things before I go into the forest. I don't have a lot of money to spare. But like Arthur always says, battles are won and lost with the preparations made before the first strike.
So anyway, what I was trying to say is that I was hoping I wasn't going to get vocalized or cutscene walking over here. One thing I do like, in that I feel like it's kind of a... I'm not sure if they're making fun of, or it's just like a dark twist on something they like to do. But for people that have played the other Tales games... Oh, they're talking about eating the poor pigs. The rat pigs, more specifically. Poor rat pigs. Run, rat pigs, run! We'll take the chipped copper coin for some money, though. So one thing I just want to say from that standpoint is I feel like this game is almost making fun of them because, like, for example, in Symphonia, the main character would kind of prattle on and on about the Dwarven vows, but, like, in a very serious sense. But I feel like the difference between this game doing it and then some of the previous games is that this one has a very dark undertone throughout, and you already know something terrible is going to happen based off the intro. So we'll keep that in mind. So let's see. The villager says the leaves are really starting to fall. Must be time to start roasting us some potatoes. So we say, hello there. Yeah, they gotta feed the family. Need some vegetables? Feel free to take a few. Okay. So we see some guy with a vegetable stand. We can see there's chickens and pigs. Rat pigs over here. We've seen a cat so far. See if we come across any more animal life. So I think I will get cutscened coming over here, if I'm not mistaken. Or if nothing else, we'll take advantage of the shop. Excellent. We got another piece of equipment, so we should definitely go to equip it right now. So one thing the chat might have noticed is that when I'm highlighting an item, there's something called Master Skill. So the way the game decides to increase our stats within this version of Tales is that as we battle and get grade, we will slowly level up the Master Skill and put it on a character permanently. So the game encourages us to swap equipment very often, and then from that point forward, we could decide what is best. So we automatically have one good upgrade. So let's talk to the general shopkeeper. So he's got like a few trinkets here and there. I want to see if we could see something early. Ah, so people that have not seen the game before will not realize that there's something important on that table over there. And I will leave it at that. So because we're playing on Chaos mode... Ooh. Oh, I just don't have enough money. Okay. So if we're playing on Chaos mode, we're going to take some safety precautions. So at this point in the game, the only way to heal is to use gels. Oh, chat, look at look at all these items we have. Oops. Yeah, I don't need to worry too much about that. But let's sell some garbage. So we're going to cheat a little, chat, so sorry. But I'm going to get rid of all these little fragments. So I'm going into something that we can collect much later on. So spoilers, I now have like a total of 683,000 money. So one other mechanic that I can now show off is that if we buy enough items or sell enough items, what we can end up doing is increasing the shop rank. So the shop rank will slowly introduce new items, but more importantly, we'll receive things from the shop. So because we've gotten at least past level 1, we've received the Silky Touch Garment. Okay, so we also got a new Glaciite, which will enhance our abilities. Again, normally we're not supposed to get these things, but we'll go, shh, it's okay. So one other thing you might have noticed on the weapon screen is that there were 3 slots under the Master Skill, and all that was trying to tell us was that basically we can get additional abilities on our items, sort of like Zesteria, except those abilities are not super important at the moment. Hello, colorful waistcoat. Pumper upper is for a character we do not have, so we're not able to do it. But it allows the wearer to grow stronger faster, attracts a lot of attention. We've also received a misfortune ward, which we can now take advantage of. I'm going to go ahead and just sell all these items, just because we could use the cash. So we also seem to have some cooking ingredients, which is pretty funny, because we're definitely not supposed to have any of this. Lizard tail. So let's just very quickly equip our character. So now we have something that could potentially give us more resistance for the future, so that's good. But right now we only got one real upgrade from this. Hello there, person holding a baby. Her name is simply Young Mother, and she seems to have a dog right in front of her. So she's asking if we're doing a little shopping, and our response is, just stocking up before heading out. A hunter is only as good as her supplies, after all. How's the baby doing, by the way? The mother replies that the baby's healthy. She's asking us if we want to change the little one's diaper. It won't be long before we're doing it for real. Ah, and see, now we're getting a little more context. So from this conversation that seemed kind of innocuous, we now know Velvet's age is 16. So we could kind of place the rest of the game's events based off of age and things like that. So we're saying we really shouldn't be thinking about these things since we're only 16. And apparently Young Mother says, time passes quicker than you think and you're a pretty girl. I'm sure the boys in the village will pick up on that, and boys from out of town too. Poor Velvet, she is not ready for the boy talk. She's like, I better go out hunting. Oh no. Young Mother recognizes that she scared us off. So we're definitely gonna keep on running. Ooh, chat. The villager says, according to the calendar, tomorrow should be Scarlet Night. I'm sure things will be completely fine, chat. The opening 7 years ago was on Scarlet Night too. I hope nothing terrible happens. Oh, villager. Oh, villager. So Velvet thinks to herself, it'll be the same night as when Celica died. So I will create a new save. I've tried to keep the save names as spoiler free as possible, so if you see any of that, it doesn't really matter. So let's see. The Chief Carpenter says the outlaws hold up in Morgana Woods, and they all came down with Demon Blight. We have to consider defending the village. And they're suggesting that this pretty big fence stands no chance against the demons, and that they need to build something stronger. Kirk is waving the red flag. And we're in Morgana Woods, Crimson Sea of the Trees. So we could see a little, not a little, but quite a big animal here. Villager's asking us if we're out for a walk. So we're saying that we're not out for a walk, but we are clearly going around talking to all these characters. So now we're hearing the demons in Morgana Woods are multiplying. We did hear that the bandits that were housed here turned into demons. So that's not good. So it sounds like the Morgana Woods are pretty much our only exit from this place based off these conversations. We're asking if it's true. So we're being told to look out for ourselves. And we're saying we can't leave Laffy. So just for some bunnies chat. So just for some clarity, these events are purely optional. You could skip pretty much all of them. You just basically have to go prickle boar hunting. But I figured we talk to them, get a little more context.
Dozens of demons real close to town. If they attack, we're done for. I think we should run now while we can.
Run? To where? There are demons everywhere in Midgand.
We have nothing to worry about. My brother Arthur can protect the ball.
Arthur, huh? They say he used to be one of those exorcists who could control Malakim.
And only exorcists can defeat demons. Yeah, we've all heard the fairy tales. So have all the swindlers who pose as exorcists to con honest folk out of their gold.
Hey! Arthur isn't like that!
If he was a real exorcist, why didn't he protect Celica when the demons attacked?
That's because Laffy and we...
Besides, Arthur is just an outsider who drifted into our village one day. We don't know anything about his past.
Then you must think we're outsiders too. Our parents weren't from here either.
Back to business. We need to deal with these demons.
You're right. We've got to defend our village ourselves. That's what it comes down to. Save the dreaming about exorcists and Malakim for when we're asleep.
So let's talk to each of these youths. So Cowardly Youth is saying, even walled cities are falling to demons. How are we supposed to relax with the mere fence? Fair point. Hello, Realistic Man. What do you have to say? They say some demons can understand human speech. Interesting. If that's true, then what happened 7 years ago... ... chat. Oh, the ... dots are back already. Hello, Villager. What do you have to say? Demon Blight and Famine are merely the Empyreans' just punishment for heedless men. So this is the first time I think we've heard the word Empyreans being talked about here. And he says, can you believe this gibberish? What gives them the right to preach? When did we do something so wrong that we deserve to die? I'd like to point out a really nice touch with the game is that all the people we could talk to, if you haven't noticed, are marked with green dots. So we can always determine who we should speak to. And plus I like the little faces above them so we can see if they have new conversation. So hello, grandmother. She's like, how many times have I told you not to go around touching wild animals? You could catch demon blight for all we know. Is that what you want, to become a demon? And the girl, poor girl, she just wanted to touch the bunny because it was cute. Alright, chat, I will make a very quick, unrelated comment, but that is my favorite animation in Berseria. I just love them playing patty cake with things. Just love it, chat. I could watch that all day. So let's see what happens if we tried leaving the village, because we can see there's a couple green dots over there. We've attained 5 Gald. Well, we're now at 684,682, so thank you, 5 Gald. Ooh, Villager says, this is bad. Morgana Woods is teeming with demons, and now we can't trade with Taliesin. So we're now hearing a whole bunch of names. So we heard Midgand, but we're not quite sure where that is relative to us. Taliesin sounds like a neighboring city. It sounds like Morgana Woods is between Taliesin and here. And they're saying if something happens to the Tranquil Woods, the village is as good as done for. So we're hearing yet another location. So that sounds like maybe it's on the other side of the village. Youth says, I'd turn back if you know what's good for you. There's a bunch of demons roaming up ahead. We ask how many. His response is, beats me. The guy who went to check hasn't come back. But if it's a lot, the village is in real trouble. This is no time for a date in Taliesin. Shame, as I would have asked you out myself. Oh no. Well, it's like, huh? Sorry, I didn't catch that last part. What did you say? Youth is like, nothing. Just forget it. Poor Youth. Oh no, chat is having their own better than Zesteria account. I'm sorry, chat. I will be biased. I will try not to bring it up too often. So we'll make another save since we've made some progress. Hey, Granite Knight, how's it going? Also, I think Steve popped in earlier, so hello, Steve. Ooh, old woman saying, hey there, Velvet, have you heard the news? There are some folks going around pretending to be exorcists and tricking villagers out of their money. So we've now heard exorcists a few times, so for people that have seen Zesteria, we could kind of guess what the exorcists are, especially with the fact that there are the equivalency of ghosts and things that can't be seen by normal people. So, They say they could see things that are invisible to ordinary eyes. You've heard that one before, right? Sounds familiar, chat. Now we're asking if they're talking about Arthur. An old woman says, it's just a rumor I heard. These are trying times we live in, however you slice it. I'm just saying we can't be too careful. And we ... her in response, which I think is fair. So let's talk to this older woman. I'm sure she'll have something pleasant to say to us.
The demon blight is a punishment sent to us by the Empyreans for forgetting the old prayers.
Who are the Empyreans?
The 4 Empyreans created the world. The one Empyrean shall bring it to peace. Be afraid. When contradiction permeates this world, the time of suppression will be upon us.
Are you okay? Want me to take you home?
No! Don't treat me like a child!
All right then.
Oh, it's you, Velvet. If you're going to the Cape, take care.
Don't fall into the Shrine of Tranquility, right? I know. I'm not a kid.
Of course, of course. You're 13 now, aren't you?
I'm 16.
Chat just writes, be afraid. I mean, I'm not gonna say no. So what else does Village Elder have to tell us? So the Village Elder says, the shrine on the Cape has no name. It is a silent shrine of tranquility. Something nameless sleeps there. Demons and Empyreans slumber within. Into the deepest depths, in perfect silence, sleep, fade. And we're like, take care of yourself. Bye. Bye, crazy lady. So that conversation will have a lot more context as we get through the rest of the game. So people that have seen it before, that's it's very bold of them to give us some hints this early. But hello, villager. They're asking if we're off to hunt prickle boars again. So apparently this is a pretty common practice for us. So we say, take care then. The cold has them hungry and that makes them meaner than ever. we'll see how mean they could get. Hunting's what I do best, according to Velvet. Apparently we can show up the men in the village with our skills. So let's see. The villager says, still, I hear that beasts are falling to demon blight just like humans these days. So animals can also contract this mysterious demon blight. So, okay. We'll keep in mind that that's a thing. So one thing that I think is kind of good between the different games is I can quick save at any time. Since we're playing on Chaos, I will do that out of fear and panic. As I am not sure how hard it is to beat this without super equipment. We'll see how it goes, chat. So for now, we've now entered the Tranquil Woods, which we heard about earlier, which are the autumn-colored forest. We're kind of a nice little peaceful area. And here we could see that there's some linearity to the dungeons. Like, this one's pretty straightforward. So this is kind of like a one-way slide, so we'll come back to that later.
This area looks promising.
So let's see, we're getting the mushroom here. Another item there. And we see star icons, so we can assume that is plot related. And given that our objective is to hunt prickle boars, one can safely assume that these are the prickle boars we have to deal with. So chat, why don't we deal with the prickle boar?
Right, here goes!
That ability is so unfair, chat. So it seems like we don't have a lot of focus yet, so I'm just going to be abusing some certain skills. So let's talk about combat a little bit since we're in chaos mode. Along the bottom left, you could see that there are 4 little squares. Those designate roughly how many moves I can press. So every single time I use one of them, you could see that I lose one of the white outlines on them. So I could do essentially a 5-hit combo. And one other mechanic with this is that as I use moves, you'll see them slowly go from blue to orange. So that meter also designates our MP in this game. So we attained prickle boar meat.
Yeah, that's how it's done.
That's how it's done, chat, according to her. So let me think. Yeah, okay, that should be fun. One thing I have to remember is I think one of my commands is not correct. I have to remember which one is not correct. But, oh, okay, we have the other thing that I'm looking to do. So this is an advanced mechanic. You will not be introduced to this in a normal playthrough. But what I'm going to do is if I happen to be holding guard, I can manually select moves at any point in the combo. So the way the combos work is that we had basically 4 squares or diamonds. And every time we did it, it advanced the stage in the combo system. So the idea behind it is that you will start mixing moves so you could stack different effects. And depending on what kind of moves you have, they might lead into each other naturally. So for now, we'll leave it at that. I don't want to overcomplicate it. But hello, Skit. What do you have to say?
The cold weather's been terrible on everyone's crops, but at least the city will buy our prickle boar meat now. Luffy and Arthur have been hoping the village could start raising them, but they can just be so temperamental. I wonder if they could be bred with more docile pigs. What would we call them? Oinkle boars? Nah, doesn't sound appetizing. What about Piggleboar? Yeah, Piggleboar! That's a cute name. Maybe too cute, though. We wouldn't want to discourage people from eating them.
So we're getting a little character nuance with ourselves. So we acknowledge that we are hunters. But at the same time, I still feel like Velvet is showing a more feminine side at the same time. So I feel like the game is pretty neatly balanced here. So one reason why the little grass things are popping into place, you could technically fix that. I will use that to find hidden items more easily, chat. I wanted to address that. I think I forgot to mention that earlier. So let's go ahead and take advantage of these enemies.
Arthur's second maxim: know your foes and strike where they're weak.
Oh, Rising Moon, you're so silly. So we're gonna guard a little bit. And guarding will help us recover gauge, as well as just greatly reduce damage. So now that we have the stun, we could just kind of do whatever we want. So if we try to attack when we don't have any MP, it will still allow the move to go off. But as you can see there, the enemy just kind of deflected me. This is a way to stop the game from, or this is a way to stop you from doing infinites. But you could do some pretty silly stuff. If the enemy's stunned, just go wild. As you can see, like, I'm already getting like an 18-hit combo. Combos in this game are pretty fun. But yeah, we'll be abusing these different moves. Oh, okay, so I just wanted to show that off one more time. There we go.
Not bad.
Man, there's so many spoilers going on in the chat. It's fine, chat. I remember how to get the bonus boss. Don't worry about it. We can't do it right now anyway. I actually didn't miss it last time, Yentos. You literally can't do it into a New Game Plus. I did show that off in my defense. So I'm going to try to avoid the plot. I'm going to go around the sides here. So let's take a look at the Shrine of Tranquility.
This place isn't safe. That hole's gotten bigger. I've told them 1,000 times they ought to build a fence, but they keep saying it's forbidden land. Even Celica used to scare me with it. She was always, "This is a gateway to the underworld." Well, I'm too old to keep falling for that nonsense.
Yes. Yes, this is not a gateway to the underworld. Don't worry about the Shrine of Tranquility, Velvet. I mean, just listen to its name. It's completely innocent. Let's walk away from the Shrine of Tranquility back towards the plot. Hello, Pricklebore.
Right, here goes!
They really need a defense. I agree, chat. So, one way we could slowly gain more... They'll call them souls later, but ways we could get more of those diamonds. Anytime we inflict a status ailment on them, we'll get an additional one. So right now, I caused the stun to occur, so now my combos can get longer. And also, by stunning him, I remove the enemy's diamond, so now I have a big advantage against them. But you can see, the combos can kind of go on forever if you do it right. Unfortunately, that other one just hit me out of the combo. So also getting a kill when an enemy has a spare soul will also result in you getting an extra attack. So now we can see how silly we can make our combos. Oh, I almost got it, chat. You can loop that for quite a while if you time it correctly. Oh, I delayed too much. I gotta practice this, chat. Oh, dropped it again. So close, chat. So close. This poor Pricklebore is basically just a training dummy for me.
Not bad.
So we've attained more Pricklebore meat.
Enough to cover the medicine. I'd better bring these to the store.
Okay. So now I think what I want to do is do a hard save here. And now we're gonna go for a bonus boss. So we just have to kill a few of these. Now the downside is I'm using kind of a weak weapon, but I have to do this on the highest difficulty. So my bad, chat. This might take a little bit of time. That ability is so nice, chat. So the reason I like using the other move before Rising Moon is that Rising Moon will generally not trigger its status effect, which is not useful for us. Oh, look at that combo, chat. Oh, no. Is he in the infinite? Oh, he almost was. That poor Pricklebore was getting jungle forever, chat. That was actually unfair how many times I looped that. So as I said before, the reason I want to use Gouging Spin first is it doesn't cause paralysis. It actually causes something called stun. Now, stun works a bit differently than all the other status effects in the game, and which is why I tend to lean on that the most for the higher difficulties. So if you want to think about it in very basic terms without getting overly complicated, is that instead of it having a % chance of success, every move has a static number, roughly speaking, that it adds to a stun gauge. So it doesn't really matter our difficulty too much. As long as we keep spamming the stun move, we will inevitably stun them. It is not chance-based. The only thing that's chance-based is how much stun each enemy starts out with. And then after that, once you stun them once, it makes it a bit harder to stun them again. But because we've now gotten the stuns, we could just abuse Rising Moon, which is another good skill at this point in the game. Oh, I juggled the one next to me, but that's not quite what I wanted. So the only thing we have to be careful about, as I said before, is we're going to run out of MP. As you can see there, I did what's considered a perfect evade, so that generated another way of getting a soul. So if you like to play defensive and you like to dodge at the last minute with a good sidestep, it will reward you. So I feel like this game is generally pretty good at making sure you have enough souls to continue combos. But unfortunately, we can't do anything with them yet.
Is that all?
So one thing that we've been doing this entire time is that we've been building up grade, and grade will slowly let us master these different abilities. Hello, Prickle Boar. This is just kind of unfair. When you time it correctly, you could just kind of juggle forever, honestly. I mean, just look at this. I'm only supposed to have a 4-hit combo, but I'm stopping it early so I could get more hits. Like, that's just so mean. So, no, chat, you are not expected to know how to do that, but it's very amusing to pull it off this early in the game. But also, gouging spin is extremely quick and will generally interrupt a lot of attacks, so you'll see me abuse this a lot on bosses into this move. So we already have what I consider to be some of the best melee moves for the main character already. Honestly speaking, I could probably just win the game with those 2 moves alone. They're very overpowered. Again, I'm not sure how many people realize that just how infinite those juggles can get. But hey, we actually managed to level up, which is good. So one thing I didn't really mention before, and since we have time, since I have to go on a Prickle Boar massacre, is that as we start hitting things, we will build up like a bonus experience gauge. And Chaos Mode says that your overall experience is reduced, kind of like Zesteria, but unlike Zesteria, you will have one party member, basically the one who gets the killing blow, get a huge amount of experience. Now this is actually really good for us since we're going to be solo for the first couple of hours of the game, but later on it'll make things a bit trickier. So the people in reserves, for example, will start falling pretty far behind, but our main controlled character will generally get the last hit and end up very high level in comparison. I think by the end of the game we could see like a 7 to 8 level difference. It becomes pretty extreme, actually. Seiya. I think for the chat's sanity, I'll use slightly different moves. But yeah, Slicing Foot to me is really terrible. I will not use it other than to build art usage.
Not bad.
No me gusta, chat. So I think to reset them, all I have to do is just kind of leave and then come back. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, okay, that should be good enough. So we'll keep killing them for now, chat. Trying to think if there's anything else I could really show off with the combat. I think with our current moveset, the answer is no. So we just have to kind of grind through them. This is where if I had been putting a lot of the herbs on Velvet, it would probably have helped on this portion of the playthrough, just to speed things up a bit. But in the meantime, I can ask how the chat's doing. How you doing, chat? Okay, they're getting too many hits on me. I don't appreciate this. Oh, the other one's interrupting my infinite. I don't appreciate that. I promise combat will go faster. We just have to get to the first blacksmith. But unfortunately, because we're on Chaos with no stats, this will take a while. Ooh, there we go. Got that juggle, chat, but I ran out of MP. Ooh, I cannot wait to get more MP, chat. There we go. Killed him with Slicing Foot. That was very disrespectful of me. One thing I just want to check. How much Prickle Boar are we up to? We're at 15. So we've killed 15 so far, but we're going to keep going.
Right, here goes.
So again, I'm not even sure if we could kill the bonus boss with our character, but we could try to show it off. So one way to kind of like circumvent some of these issues with the killing of the Prickle Boar is you could get pretty powerful items if you keep the shop levels between games. Like I think you could get something called Unnamed Boots, which are one of the last shop tier rewards, and they are very, very powerful. It basically lets us get stuns due to how much focus it gives us. So I guess that's another thing I could talk about while we're killing Prickleboar. Focus is probably a bit more important in this game than I would say some of the other games where they have the equivalency. If we don't have enough focus, it basically gives us a near zero chance of getting things like paralysis off or poison. So we want to make sure we don't dump it too badly. I've apparently capped on the Prickleboar meat. Those poor Prickleboars. Oh, chat says they're doing well. That's good. Unlike this Prickleboar, right, chat? I mean, just look at this. Oh, attack interrupted. Silly Prickleboar, let me combo your friend. Okay, let's guard. So one thing, because I have some of the other bonus abilities earlier, I basically have an increased chance of status effects. Then I have, I think, guard break chance up. And then the final flash is it gives me extra MP in that order. Which means that I could combo easier. Ooh, I have to feel that rhythm again, chat. Aw, I dropped it. So close, chat. It's so satisfying when you could get those Rising Moon loops, which you are definitely not supposed to be able to do. I think I didn't let it reset. So the trick to getting it to loop like that is I basically need to pause. Oh, there we go, bonus boss. Let's see, what level are you? Oh, listen to that music, chat. So it's called Metaboar. So one thing I kind of like in this game is that because the enemy has a lot of different attacks, we can actually see what types of elements it can do, as well as to get a hint as to what it can do to us. So we see something that boosts its own defense and attack power, something that also boosts its attack power, and something else that increases its move speed. It apparently has the ability to do 100% extra damage if we get stunned. So that could be very bad for us. Its stats are pretty high. I'm not even sure if we can honestly defeat it, but let's see what happens. Oh, we're only doing 1 damage, chat. Oh, with this we're doing okay damage. I'm not sure if this is worth doing. I don't think so, chat. So one other thing that the game will not explain is that these things are basically immortal if they're purple like that. So this fight would be pretty hard. I don't know, chat. Do you actually want me to try to beat this? It has a lot of health, just to let you know. Its weakness is Earth. I think I have 1 Earth move, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, yeah, Tearing Thorn. Should technically make this Tearing Thorn. Like, it would take a while, but it's technically doable. Chat saying I believe in you. You want me to kill it on our basic level? Okay. I mean, it's whatever the chat wants. So one thing I just have to be careful about is that those boars will rack up a lot of damage on us. Now, one thing I'm not liking is that Tearing Thorn will change what direction I go in when it's used. I think what I'm going to do for now to make it a bit easier for me is I will make, instead of Rising Moon on this button, I'm going to make Tearing Thorn these so I could choose what direction I can attack in. I think that's more useful to me. That way I could kind of move away from them a little bit. So because this enemy has a lot of health, I will not take any shame in using the apple gel here. As you can see, we're on chaos mode, so the item usage timer is very, very, very slow. So we have to be pretty careful. So I could basically circle strafe him. I don't think there's anything he could really do to stop the strategy, honestly. The power of circle strafe, chat. See, this is why you need to be able to assign your buttons. So technically what I should do is once I get a power hit, I should go for the stun. The stun will actually greatly lower his defense. But unfortunately I'm low on MP. The circle strafe is real. I know. See, that's why it's important, like, if you read the little ability description, it does help out a lot. I don't think I have enough. We'll see. I mean, I should still technically be able to stun him eventually, automatically. But he's doing some fire damage to me. Also, kind of a nice touch is when you do get hit by something, you can actually see what elemental damage it was. So I'm taking 22 physical when you see that white icon. I feel like the UI in this game is pretty good. I hope this carries over to the next Tales game in terms of how much information it gives to you. Like, I could see just by the attack that I'm doing a power hit. Oh, these boars are kind of in my way. But it's fine. We have some apple gels to use. Let's lure him out of the corner, since I don't really want him against the wall if I can avoid it. I'm just going left whenever I see them. So you can see, like, I technically have a long wait between items, so that could be dangerous, chat. This boss, however, is pretty simple at least, so even with our completely garbage stats, we probably could have done this with just the 2 starting apple gels. See, we're pretty far into his health total. What I should try to do is evade at the end of the combo, because that'll reduce the damage we take. But these little boars are actually doing more damage than the bosses, honestly. So we're gonna go through. We're gonna beat this super boss, quote unquote, on Chaos with absolutely nothing other than bonus health. Oh, I might die. Ooh, close. That was close. I'm gonna go ahead and use the grape gel. Ooh, so if I didn't have that 1,000 health, chat, that you generously gave to me, I would have died there. So thank you, chat. You're the ones that gave me that extra 1,000 health. Ooh. Yeah, I gotta be real careful. Yeah, now he's into... Oh, I might be dead. Yeah, I'm dead. I was gonna say, yeah. I think we were doing fine until he got to the powered up state. Sorry, chat. Yeah, that stun is nasty. Yeah, we were doing fine up until that point. Now, if we had the 2,000 health, I would have beat the boss battle. Oh well. So I think for now it will go undefeated. I think we saw enough of the boss. It's very hard to do with our current character. So at least we got to show that off. See, we can all laugh at that, chat. That's fine. Like, if I had been really good with my evades, I might have been able to do it. But we'll move on. I feel like that was a good showcase of the boss.
Wait, the boars I hunted. Are you there? Maxim 3. Never waver once your sword is drawn. Control your feelings to control the tide of battle.
Okay. This is for Laffy, chat. Now the downside is I think it undid my other buttons. That's fine. I think what I want to do is for the left and right, I'll put them back to Tearing Thorn. Oh, we got a new ability from that. So I think this is where the game tries to teach you the difference between moves. So far what we've been using has been called martial arts, which focus on our physical attack. Hidden arts are a mix of using our magic attack stat and physical. And what makes them kind of different is that these usually have a higher cost than our martial arts. As you can see, we have some very simple combos here. But usually the trade-off is that they will always come with a category of enemy that they do bonus damage against. So not only is it a fire skill, but if the enemy is a beast, we'll do bonus damage. So this would be useful, for example, against the meta boar, as an example. It can also cause burn, which is not something we have access to normally. So let's go ahead and spam that a little bit, chat, just to see how that feels. Ooh, I like that point-blank evade. So Searing Edge has a little bit of a wind-up, so we have to be careful. So that I'm just showing that attack getting interrupted. It has like a little bit of a projectile range. So this is the best that we will get in terms of magic. We will not be learning spells with this character. But as you can see, it's got a decent AoE. But however, its slow attack speed leads us to getting interrupted. So instead of getting interrupted, it's probably still best to go for Gouging Spin. And just end your combo with some Searing Edge. Oh, that other one didn't get hit at all. That's a shame. Yeah, it also hits backwards to some extent, which is kind of nice.
I did it!
Cirrus.
An exorcist art!
Pride and anxiety, pity for the enemy, thrill of victory. Your emotions run too hot. That will be your downfall. Agreed. It's one of her virtues as well.
Huh?
Yes, I know. But even so, she's got to...
Arthur?
Arthur's fourth maxim. Never let your guard down, even when victorious.
Got it.
In any case, this should be enough to buy Laphicette's medicine. I'll drop the prickle boars off at the shop before I head out.
Head out where?
The person I was supposed to meet is late. I don't think I'll be home tonight. I came out here to let you know. You'll have to pick up the medicine yourself.
Right.
One more thing. I saw a group of demons near the village. If you're attacked, run away. Am I clear?
No way! I can handle a bunch of...
Demons can only be challenged by those with the talent for exorcism. That's the cold logic of the world, and no emotions can change it.
Do you think I could become an exorcist?
Why is it you think that birds fly?
Why? Well, without flying, they couldn't find food.
It takes a particular innate talent to be an exorcist. Unfortunately, very few humans have it within themselves.
All right.
Tomorrow is Celica's Memorial Day. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Hurry back! I'll make you a quiche, just the way she taught me.
So for those of you that have seen the game before, that is the start of a very much, I was going to say continuous, but the why do birds fly question will be coming up quite a bit in the future. So we could see how that answer to that question evolves depending on who is asked the question and at what point in their life they're asked that question. So right now we said that our initial response is that they're looking for food. Well, we have apparently consumed the prickle boar meat after the hunt skit.
I wonder if those prickle boars were brothers. Maybe I should have let them go. But then how would I pay for Laffy's medicine? Hunting took care of that. And it means food for us as well. I had no other choice. It was a rational decision. But the fact that I'm still worrying about it shows that my feelings are getting the better of me.
Oops, sorry about that. Yeah, there's also mention of the quiche. The quiche will come up again later. It's very interesting that there's a lot of things mentioned at the beginning of the game that actually show up later. So the quiche will come up in quite a few skits, I think. Oh, that guy just... he like merged with the door. That was interesting. It seems like we have no new conversations with these people. However, it seems like we're getting a cutscene. Hello, look, Chad, it's two dogs.
Nico, here for groceries?
Yep. And you must have been out hunting.
Yeah, it was a good haul.
Look at you, Lady Breadwinner. If you were a boy, I think I'd be in love.
Good thing I'm a girl.
Oh, yeah? You ought to do something about your style, then.
Yeah. I kind of broke my comb.
So get a new one.
Sure, I'd like to, but...
Hey, mister! How about a sale on combs for the pretty girl?
Huh? Oh, you two need something?
I'm fine, Nico. I'm just here to pick up medicine for Laphicette.
Oh, Velvet. I already told Arthur, but I'm afraid the medicine hasn't come in yet.
What? Why not? Is it because of the demons?
Seems like the demon blight's really taking a toll on the city. There's even a group of them lurking around here now.
When's it coming, then?
I can't say. And I don't know how much it will cost.
Oh, no.
Ugh, what is wrong with Midgand? I mean, don't they have an army or something?
Those guys? The demons already routed them a while back.
But we're safe here, right? After all, your brother-in-law's an exorcist.
You so sure about that? Arthur can't even use his right hand anymore. Poor fellow couldn't even protect his own wife and child.
Let me know when the medicine gets in.
Of course. For now, here, on the house.
Velvet! You didn't forget, did you? You promised to teach me how to make your special quiche.
You mean for that apprentice animal doctor you had your eye on? You were serious?
Beyond serious? Please. This is life or death for me.
But I thought your folks weren't keen on the two of you dating.
Who cares what people think? The important thing is my feelings.
I like the way you talk. If I were a boy, I think I'd be in love.
Darn right.
Chat's just like the quiche and all exclamation marks.
Luffy must be starving by now. I better hurry home.
So we could hurry home, but we would miss a lot of interesting dialogue, chat. So the first thing we should talk to is obviously not the childhood friend. It's
Orthy and Russ seem pretty down today.
I know. They've been whimpering like this for an hour now.
Well, they've always been a bit wimpy. The other day, that kitty Rollo chased both of them up a tree by himself.
They're hopeless. Whenever it's thundering out, they both dive into my bed, shivering.
Orthy, Russ, shape up. You're Nico's bodyguards, right? Start acting like it. They're completely hopeless.
Maybe. But they're so cute, so I forgive them. Celica taught you how to make your special quiches, right, Velvet?
Yeah, but mine aren't nearly as good as hers.
Don't be modest. They're fantastic. Simple, yet elegant.
That's because there's a secret in the cheese and the dough.
You should try selling them in Taliesin. I'm sure they'd be a hit. We could make them together and take them on the road. We could even wear matching uniforms.
Would it make more money than hunting fricklebores?
Definitely, maybe. Even more so if you could lighten up a bit in front of the customers.
Then it might be worth a try. I do want to buy Laffy a nice heavy winter coat. And Arthur's gloves are in tatters, so he needs new ones.
Oh, don't be so boring. I get where you're coming from, but come on! Think big! Dream, Velvet! Dream!
Think big? No thanks. I want a peaceful life with Laffy and Arthur. That's all.
You're impossible. Then again, maybe that's why your quiches taste so darn good.
We'll talk to her one more time. So Nico says, one day you'll make some lucky man very happy, Velvet. I'm sure of it. We ask her where it's coming from. She says, just an idle thought, no need to get upset. And we grrr her, chat. What else does she have to say to us? Nico says, even my dad has been saying stuff like how we shouldn't trust strangers. It made me want to punch him. My own dad. And then Nico says, oh, sorry for going off on a rant like that. Let's get together and make quiche and vent sometime, huh? Dog goes squee, apparently. So, So, I forgot that the town name was called Taliesin. My apologies, chat. Oh, now we get some interesting items. That's a shame. These probably would have helped us. So since we have so much money, I have no reason to not purchase everything here. And I'll just recap everything else here. Oh, look, we can afford all the apple gels now. Nice. Let's see. So we could use the current weapon that we have, or just by having a random skill here, time you can't use items reduced by 12%. That might have helped a little bit. Now, what's kind of interesting is that the master skill is based off the specific weapon that we're looking at, like as in like Bloodblade will always give the same skill, but it doesn't matter what version of Bloodblade we have, whether it's upgraded or not upgraded. So we'll continue to learn a new skill. Now, in theory, we could swap over to Amber Belt right now, which would give us a pretty big physical attack boost, which might have made the other boss fight a bit easier. But I think I'm going to keep it on the Sturdy Belt for now, so we could get more art attack. So this one is also pretty good. So this master skill, we reduce non-elemental damage by 5%. That's pretty good. However, since we're not sure what types of damage we're going to face, I think for now we'll go for the raw stats. But later on, we'll be switching over to resistances. So here's another thing that would reduce it. So this would have also reduced overrun damage by some amount. So we've now received 3 different sets of boots. As I said before, I'm just going to work my way up. But you can see that these can result in a pretty big attack increase. So, again, what I kind of liked from this perspective is that outside of the very intro, this game has a lot of what I would say are like the tropes of a Tales game. Like, let's go through like a mental checklist. Like, you have like the overly cheerily optimistic character. They literally have somebody quoting the equivalency of vows. We've already met the childhood friend. We are in kind of like a peaceful village. We already know something terrible is going to happen to the village. So I think when I first played through the game, I wasn't sure how many people would survive whatever would inevitably happen to this village. So I was curious. It had my attention, chat. Because if they had played this straight, I don't think I would have liked this as much. The villagers are reminding us that everyone knows you're almost as good as Arthur. So we say he's something, but we have to go fix dinner. So not too much new in terms of flavor text here. Unfortunately, Village Elder does not have anything more to say to us, which is a shame. Oh, there's a dog there. I didn't even notice it before. Apparently, the older man is seeing... Or maybe he's middle-aged? I mean, he's hunched over. Maybe he's just talking to the baby. But he's now arrived to his peaceful family chat that I'm sure nothing terrible will happen to. So Velvet thinks about a baby. I might be a mom one day. And then we're like, what are we thinking? We have to make dinner. Chat, this game is all about making dinner. This is just our quest to make the quiche. Right, chat? Like, we gathered the meat, you know, for dinner. And then we're also going to gather some prickle boar stuff. Or, not prickle boar. We're going to gather the quiche materials. So let's see what happens if I try to leave. So we can see that there's a red indicator. And also that the icons for leaving have been grayed out. But what happens when we touch them? Oh, chat, we have to hurry home and get ready for dinner. Chat's saying it's a slice of lifestyle RPG with the tongue-in-cheek. Definitely, chat. There's a lot of slices, I could say that. So, we went to the shrine and we think the hole's getting bigger. Villager says we have to keep people away from there. It's a sacred place and we shouldn't mess with it. We can't allow any accidents, chat. It would be such a shame if there was an accident involving that area. So they'll bring it up at the next village meeting. They'll talk about it later, as it were. So we are maxed on nutmeg. We do not need more nutmeg. Tales of Berseria. Good call, Chris. Good call. So it seems like we have no new dialogue here. Oh, he is doing the patty cakes. Yes. Patty cake it. Show it who is boss. Also, I like the different idle animations in the game. So right now we're hearing the carefree village music. It's kind of dreamy, I would say, in terms of the pace. Ooh, look, some people to talk to over here. 2 cats. Hello, little girl. Villager says, tonight we're having rat pig soup. It's not the cat's meow, but it'll satisfy. You won't find any fish swimming in it, though, you two. So, there's Othella and Othello-Lena, so there's 2 more animals identified, chat. 1 mews, 1 meows. Oh, she seemed to be referencing something. I hope I didn't miss a dialogue. That would make me kind of sad. But she's saying the changing world concerns her, but we need to stay fed to face it. It's true, we need to eat, chat. We all need to eat something. So let's return to our home, since we can't really go anywhere else. Chat, we're playing a very uplifting game. I don't know what you're talking about. See, it's all about the quiche right now.
Hi, Celica. I'm back. I can't believe it's been 7 years since we lost you. And the baby you carried. Oh, drat. I forgot to bring your princessias. I know how much you, Mom, and Dad all loved those flowers. And I know your child would have too. I'm sorry. I'll pick some from the Cape tomorrow.
So apparently Celica had an unborn child. We could get more flavor text by examining the grave. Beside a grave marker for Arthur and Celica's unborn child stands the gravestones of Velvet's parents and her sister. Inscribed upon thy tiny pillar are the following words. This little life will spread its wings and soar through the skies. That's kind of a more somber moment in the game. But hey, chat, it is all about making dinner. We have to go make some dinner.
Welcome home, Velvet.
Luffy, I told you to stay in bed.
I was only up for a little.
Look, your fever hasn't gone down a bit. Go lie down and I'll cook dinner.
I'm sorry.
What's this?
A compass. It uses a magnet to tell you which way you're facing.
Woohoo! You can use the sun and stars for that.
And what'll you do if it's cloudy, huh? Thanks to this invention, we'll even be able to voyage across the ocean. See? It's designed to stay level, so your heading will be true even when the ship is rolling with the waves. Pretty neat, right?
If you say so, Luffy.
Come on, it's a must-have for any adventure. Can't you see how useful it is?
You can tell me more about it later.
Did they hurt you?
Not a scratch, and I brought back plenty. I can hear Arthur already. Gosh, Velvet, I think it's time you learned all my secret arts.
He isn't coming home tonight, is he?
How do you know that?
Sarah stopped by and told me.
Arthur's Moloch? Huh, you really can talk to Malakim, can't you?
Yeah, Arthur says I've got exorcist potential.
No kidding. I think you'll be an exorcist to rival even him. I can tell you've been learning all sorts of things from his book collection.
I really want to become an exorcist. I want to go traveling with you and see all the wonders of the world. I'll hunt and chop firewood, and if demons come for us, I'll defend you. I wish I could do that.
You'll get there, Laphicet. It should only take... 20 years tops.
It won't take me that long.
Oh yeah? You better prove it to me then. Start with this lovely meatball stew I cooked. Eat every last mouthful, even if you don't feel hungry. And take your medicine, no matter how nasty it tastes. No tricks. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, cooking time. First, I need to light the stove.
See, chat, we're just making dinner. We'll talk to Laphicet. Laphicet says, you might not believe it, but I can do whatever I set my mind to. And we're like, okay, sure you can. So chat, let's take a look at what Laphicet was actually touching. So let's check this out. Chat, it says, observations on the Nameless Empyrean. We've heard that a couple of times now, chat.
Isn't this Arthur's book? Is Laffy really reading stuff this dense? Poor kid's gonna squint his eyes right out.
So it seems like Laphicet was doing something with Arthur's books. So we're not 100% certain what's going on, but observing the table, we see 2 different books with the same cover. So that's interesting.
The day before Scarlet Night, Sis went prickle boar hunting on her own. She's almost as good a fighter as Arthur, so I know those prickle boars don't stand a chance. But I worry that she's too athletic to land a husband. Maybe she should try to be more ladylike. Little scamp. He just knew I'd be reading this, didn't he?
We got called out, so we just peeked on his journal, chat. Well, I think with that, we're gonna try to officially start dinner. 'Cause, I mean, this is what Tales is all about.
It's so easy to light Arthur's firewood. I wonder what his trick is. Velvet? Could you not put any spinach in the stew? Huh. You'll never grow up if you're picky with your food, you know. I know, but just for today? Fine, fine. I'll leave out the spinach just this once. And I'll make it that curry flavor you like. Really? Thanks, Velvet! There's some of Arthur's special curry spice upstairs, isn't there?
I like the little banners that are behind them when they talk. I think that helps add to the character of the little skits.
There you go. Not spicy hot, but oh so delicious. Oh yeah, I saw Nico today, and she had very important things to talk about. She's coming over in the next couple days, so be on your best behavior. I will. I'm glad you've got a good friend. Yeah, we've known each other since forever. Still, Nico falling in love? I can barely wrap my head around it. Laffy, you know, if there's a girl you like, you'll tell Big Sister all about it, right? Girl? You're a stubborn little brat, so you might need an older girl to keep you under control. Oh, and she's gotta be a good cook. A pro in the kitchen is a success at life. Knock it off, Velvet! You should be more worried about your own love life. Me? I've got enough on my mind. For one thing, I've got to cook for you and Arthur since Celica is gone. Besides, getting crushes on strange men? I just don't see what's so... Luffy, what's wrong?
Well, let's go check on him, chat. Let's just jump down like that. I'm sure that's good for our legs. We'll do a quick little run for whatever this item is. Oh, we don't need more nutmeg. We need to save Laffy set, chat.
Are you alright? I'll bring you some water. I'm fine. You just said something funny is all, and it made me choke a bit. As long as you're okay. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there. Who knows what the future holds? Yeah, but what more can I do? I've got a duty to look after my little brother, and I'm serious about it. I know, but I'm trying to look after you too. I want you to be happy. That's all. And it's not just me. Arthur worries about you too. Well, we're family, right? Yeah, that's what families do. Thanks, Laffy. For you, I'd kill every last prickle boar in the forest if it came down to it. What am I doing? I need to hurry and get dinner ready.
Chat, we forgot all about dinner. Luffy set says, I can't wait. A nice bowl of curry stew without spinach. Okay. We'll just go back to a nice and peaceful day.
Good boy. You didn't forget your medicine. Well, I did promise. Tomorrow's a scarlet night. Yeah, just like that night that changed our lives. Velvet, may I sleep next to you tonight? Of course.
I will say I'm not a big fan of the inn riff. We'll be hearing that anytime we use the inn. It's okay, but...
Okay, let's see. Today, I've got to dry some meat and use that cheese I've been saving to make a quiche for... Luffy?
So we saw yet another...
Where have you gone?
Another little image of a compass. We might have seen something like that somewhere else before, chat.
Better not have gone to the village alone. I bet your fever hasn't even gone down.
So we don't see anything else to interact with in here in particular. But hey, we can actually look at the bookshelf, so we might as well take a look at it while we're here. What's Arthur's book? The Celestial Chronicles. Handwritten notes about the world's historic ruins. Another book titled On Reading Historical Impressionist Scripts. It looks like some kind of dictionary of a foreign language. Also, I forgot to mention earlier, but I think that's the second time the Tales series has used Rollo. Rollo was a cat in Tales of Xillia 2. I think we could have a little puppet thing of Rollo, if I'm not mistaken, in the previous game. I know, chat, we can't forget about the quiche. It's clearly the most important thing that's going to happen today. It's all about getting that quiche. Oh, so we can see the NPCs have moved around. That's kind of a nice touch. According to the map, there are no green dots to interact with over here, so we're just going to talk to this person today. Hello, young mother. She's asking us what the big rush is. We're like, have you seen Laffy? He went out alone, but he still has a fever. So they say they haven't seen him, and boys do these things. Our response to that is, I'm glad one of us can stay calm. What if something happened to him? See, chat, if he's in the village, he's safe, right? We gotta stay calm, chat. Things will be A-okay.
Hey, has Laffy been here?
No. I haven't seen him.
Wait, that's one of Arthur's.
Actually, it's a copy that Laphicet made. A smart merchant would pay a pretty penny for this book. I gave him a fair trade.
Laffy, did he really copy all that by hand? Oh, he must have done it to buy that compass.
No, though he gave it some puppy eyes. Told him I'd throw it in for free, but he said that it would be a bad deal for me. He's a good lad, but not the merchant type.
So, what did he use the money for?
I'm afraid my lips are sealed. You'll have to ask him.
Intrigue, chat.
Velvet, I saw Laphicet walking around. Is he okay?
He's not okay. Where'd you see him?
He was headed for the forest. I'll help you look for him.
Thanks. Do a sweep of the village, just in case. I'll check the forest.
I feel like the game was teasing a party member joining here, and then it didn't happen, and I'm like, oh, you're such a tease, Berseria, such a tease.
No, he might have gone to the Cape to pick flowers.
I was going to have them join the search, but they won't move at all. It's like they're scared of something.
Seems like the dogs are scared of something, chat. I'm sure it's nothing. So Nico says, what is she gonna do with the two of them? And so we're gonna leave Nico to tend to the village while we check the woods. Nothing is really updated there. Hello, merchant. So his equipment will not reset. So the way equipment resets in this game is I think every 3 battles the merchant will get new items, but we can always buy things like healing items, which is fine. Outside of the beginning of the game, do not expect me to use like basically any items other than maybe the holy bottle or the dark bottle. I'm mostly just playing it safe because we're playing on the difficulty we're definitely not supposed to be on at the moment. So I think it was a little hard to see when I walked in here the first time, but there was actually an item that was next to the compass. So people that play it for the first time would have noticed the compass, and thought because he was drawing the compass, he was going to take the compass, but he actually picked something else off that table, which is very sneaky. I like that misdirection the game does.
Have you seen Laphicet?
Nope. Can't say that I have.
All right. Let me know the second you see him.
Got it. Is he in bad shape?
Well, he refuses to stay in bed. He needs his rest, but he's always walking around or reading outside.
I can't say I'm surprised. He's always been a curious lad. He likes reading difficult books. When I saw him the other day, he told me all about the latest navigation techniques and exotic farming methods, too. Only one kid in a million is as smart as he is.
You're exaggerating. Well, maybe not.
It's a shame. If he could go to school in the capital, I'm sure he'd make a name for himself as a scholar.
The capital? Isn't that days and days by ship from Taliesin? No way. Not happening. Even if he gets better, I could never let him go that far away all by himself.
He can handle it. He's actually a very responsible boy. I don't think you need to worry.
I couldn't handle it. I would worry. And be lonely.
Okay, sorry about that, chat. So let's talk to him one more time. Ooh, cheerful old man just remembered Laphicet asked me about Scarlet Night. Scarlet Night is a special red-colored lunar eclipse. Okay, a little more clarity for that, chat. Tonight will be the first Scarlet Night since the opening. What wonderful things we're being told, chat. So we're just gonna go the opposite direction the game wants us to go because we could get additional dialogue. So let's do so. We're asking, well, apparently the villager's asking for the animal to eat its fill and make a lot of milk. We need you to make our cheese tongue stew. Oh, tongue stew is its name. I was gonna say that's. I was gonna say you named a cheese tongue stew. That just sounds nasty. Hello, tongue stew. You're a named animal. Good for you, named animal. So we're gonna go ahead and venture on to the south. I do not technically need to pick up all the shinies, but if they're there, I'll just pick them up. Oh, they're doing the patty cakes. Yes. Hello, villager. Villager says, life sure is less colorful without bunnies around. So that's an interesting observation detail, chat. So if you remember on the cliffside up there, there were bunnies, but if we look now, they aren't there. I like the little touches that are there, chat. I think that helps bring a lot of life to the game. So there are significantly less animals around, is what I'm drawing attention to again. Hello, youth. Youth says it's creepy. There were always rabbits around before, but now even the birds are silent. And what happened to the group who went to investigate? Shouldn't we be out looking for them? They're asking, what would the point be? The coast is clear, they'll be back soon enough, and if not, it's the search party would end up as demon food. All they could do is hole up in the village and wait. So that's not good. An investigative team went out through the town's only real exit, and they have not returned. And the animals are missing. You know what? I'm sure it'll be fine, Chad. I think they're just going home for stew. Because this game's all about dinner. It's fine. They're just getting their meals. Let's talk to all these people over here. Oh, they let out some of the rat pigs. Look at that, Chad. We get to interact with them. Rat Pig says oink oink. Oop, I went to talk to her and then I got Rat Pig again. Villager says, my stomach is rumbling just looking at him. I do love ears. Oh no, they eat the ears of the Rat Pig? That's kind of messed up. Hello, Rat Pig, who says oink oink oink. Has got the little chicken on him still. What do you have to say about this? So we're asking this villager if he's seen Laphicet. Says he saw him at the general store. I had a whopper of a book in his hands too. I reckon it must have been one of Arthur's. So I guess we were supposed to go to this before the other place. So we're saying, yeah, probably. If you see him, send him home. Well, anyway, they say that if he sees him, he'll send him home. So we tried, chat. We tried. Hello, little girl. Who has Othello and Othellolina. Yeah, I remember their names, chat. I did it. Othellolina's great at catching mice, as good as Othello even. Isn't that right, Othellolina? She says mew. Othello says meow. Apparently the villager is saying Othello says Athelina has a long way to go. Not too much else we can interact here, so I think we'll slowly make our way to the northern portion of the exit. So I think I talked to everybody here, right? Yeah. We'll just talk over to this villager. This exorcist talk is a load of rubbish. Who's going to believe someone who says that they could see things that aren't there? Celica might have a soft heart, but we won't be fooled so easily. And then we're like, oh, we need to be looking for Laphicet. I'm sure everything will be fine. Hello, villager, with an exclamation mark over his head. We should talk to you.
Hey, Velvet, did you hear the news? Tonight is going to be another Scarlet Night.
I remember the moon turned red 7 years ago. But what is it anyway?
It's a red lunar eclipse. It happens every several years or so. Apparently, you can predict the next one by watching the movements of the stars. According to legend, a crimson moon is a gate that connects our world to the next. It's also said to be proof of humanity's sins.
You sure know a lot about it.
Laphicet taught me, just a few minutes ago.
You saw Laffy? Where'd he go?
Actually, I don't know. Sorry.
Aww.
Oh, see that, chat? The Scarlet Knight's just all about humanity's sins. So, yeah, this is probably fine. So he's saying he's not much help, and then he just kind of remarks that Laphicet is a free spirit. So it's kind of an interesting conversation we had with him there. So we know Laphicet spent time to copy an entire book, which is rather time-consuming. So that tells us two things. One, he's extremely intelligent, which we could kind of pick up before, but also it sounds like he's indoors a lot. Chat's asking if it's Aray's voice. I'm not sure, chat. Hello, Prickleboar.
Laffy!
Velvet,
Can you walk? How's your fever?
I'm fine. I was just taking a break.
Oh, you little... You know better than this, Laphicet. Running off without telling me. What if something happened to you? You wouldn't be the only one hurt. Do you understand that?
I'm sorry.
If you want to do something, just ask. I know I'm a crummy big sister, and I can't afford to buy you all the things you want.
No, that's not why I went out. You see, it was just...
I get it. You're right. I forgot the flowers for the graves.
Yeah, so I was going out to the Cape, and I thought...
You want to see the ocean too, don't you?
Well, yeah, that too.
Fine. Just for today, though.
Are you sure?
I am. But next time you run off like that, I'm strapping you to your bed.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. It's off to the Cape, then.
Hooray!
Remember how we went out together to pick princessias on the morning of Celica's funeral?
Yeah. I was only 4, but I remember. We couldn't find any in the village or at the Cape.
Right. Because the demons had made a mess of them. And then you suddenly started climbing down the edge of the cliff.
You ran over and grabbed me. You had the scariest look on your face.
Of course I did. Do you have any idea what I'd do if I lost you too?
You'd still have Arthur. He'd help you. He'll help the world. He's quite the guy.
That's probably true. But I'd still miss you like you wouldn't believe.
I know. I'm sorry, sis.
But down the cliff from where you were, a lone pair of princessia were blooming.
I remember. A gentle breeze came in, and it smelled like Celica.
That's right. That's why I believe those flowers were a message from her. Do you know what princessia flowers signify?
An irreplaceable treasure, and wishes for good health for many years to come.
Right. And that sums up my feelings nicely, Laffy.
Yeah. Me too, sis.
So, oh, we have yet another skit. We'll comment upon the other one in a moment.
How about I make you some apple boo when we get home, Laffy?
Apple boo? What's that?
Grated apples. Whenever I caught a cold when I was little, Celica would make it for me. It's sweet and tart and juicy and crisp. Eating it always made me feel better.
Well, apples are good for you. But what does the boo mean?
When I was a baby, I would always say boo-boo when I wanted to eat an apple.
So that's where the name comes from. Wait, you called apples boo-boo? You must have been a strange baby.
You used to do the same thing. When Celica and I heard you, we laughed so hard.
Boo!
There you go, chat. So Kirk is hypothesizing what could happen. What Laphicet's true goal was. We'll see how correct Kirk is in the chat. It's always nice to see people guessing what will happen in the game. So we picked up on a couple things. So Laphicet seemed to be kind of internalizing something because he said Arthur can change the world, and looked a little introspective there. So we're not really sure what that's about. You know what, chat? I'll make a new save here just because. I'm not sure if I'll go back and just prove that you could kill the enemy at basically level 3 or not, but we'll keep that in mind. And by the enemy, I mean the Metabore. We also learned about the Princessia, which will come up again later.
Just look at all these. This place never changes, does it?
It does too change. The seasons, the wind, the weather. Change one and the sea's totally different. And the same goes for what lies across the sea.
Across the sea? Sometimes I just don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, Velvet. Thank you for taking me out here today.
You don't need to thank me. Hey, Laphi. Do you know why it is that birds fly?
Well, if they didn't, they couldn't catch food or escape from predators.
Thought so.
But you know, I think there's more to it than that. A bird that's born with wings has to...
A demon!
Werewolf time.
Laphicet, run! No matter how much it hurts, run! Velvet! Don't be scared. You can do it. You're going to be strong, like Arthur.
Hello, werewolf.
No, you can't!
Go! Why is a demon here?
I don't want to go alone!
You have to! Don't let your feelings get in the way, or that thing will kill you too! But please, go! It's just like Arthur said. But I have to do this!
Stop! Face me, demon! Velvet.
The item he bought, chat. It was the comb. So if you remember it, Velvet was commenting about it earlier.
How did I get home?
Velvet!
Laphi, you're all right. Sorry. It's all my fault. No. If you weren't there, there's no telling what might have happened to me.
Your old one broke, right? You've got beautiful hair. It would be a waste if you didn't take care of it. I'll make a new world. A world where my sister can be happy.
Hmm.
The Scarlet Knight? What's going on? Was it all a dream? No, it wasn't!
We now attain Laphicet's comb. So no new things to check here. I'm just double checking to see if there's anything else we can interact with here before we leave. I don't think so. Oh, actually, that's a nice detail. You can see the copy of the book is actually in this room. That's kind of nice. Or excuse me, the original is technically there. Scarlet Nighttime, chat. Listen, it's all about supper. Look who's coming to town. They're just hungry werewolves. So they have some very suspicious outfits. So the first one we fought had kind of leather armor, and these seem to be more casual.
What on earth is going on? This is no time to be scared. I have to find Laffy.
So we're seeing werewolves everywhere. We see some dead characters. So
No. The village.
we do not want to get into combat because we are not able to defeat them, so we would have to escape. We can see there's a lot of dead bodies here and there. I'm gonna very briefly look back at the village store. So we can see that some of the common people that we talked to are here, but we're missing some key characters. Like, we don't, for example, see our childhood friend here. Oh, we can see the woman with the baby. Yeah, we absolutely do not want to get into an encounter here. We were already shown up front that we can't do anything.
Don't give up. Never give up.
What a strange turn of life for the Happy Slice of Life RPG. I know, this is just a complication to getting the quiche, chat. That's all the story's about. We just have to make that quiche, and things will be fine. So we saw a little gap there. We can't do anything about it because we don't have an item needed to deal with it. So that's fine, we'll acknowledge it. Plus there's giant rocks. We know we could potentially do things with that later. So, well, let's go to the Shrine of Tranquility. Hey,
Arthur!
Hey, look, Chad, it's Laphicet and Arthur, and they're really close to the Shrine of Tranquility. I'm sure this is all, you know, coincidence, and they're just ready for a quiche now.
You.
Oh, thank goodness. You kept Laffy safe, didn't you, Arthur?
One more sentiment to cast off.
Velvet, run! Arthur!
Here, once, was the seal to the underworld broken. And tonight, here shall be born the power to save the world. With Laphicet's life as a sacrifice.
What? What are you saying?
Yeah, so we're being restrained by fire bans, which isn't clear to us how they came about.
Let him go. This is an offering to the world.
Why would you?
Nothing can save him now.
No, no, no!
I see you will not change. Ever a slave to emotion.
So we lost an arm, chat. Our arm looks a little different, chat.
A demon that feeds on demons. A Therian.
Okay, chat, we have to reach Arthur. So we now are able to damage the werewolves. So we're gonna make use of this new moveset to continue forward.
Why did you kill him? His blood on your hands! Answer me! Answer me! Why?
So we have a nice kind of combo finisher with this basic moveset. It is a little slow though, so we still have to be careful.
He was my brother! I love me! What did he ever do? Get out of my way!
Take a look around. Demon blight has spread through the village. But do not fear. With my power as an exorcist, I, Artorius Colbrand, will end your pain.
Ceres.
Why is it that birds fly? Behold my answer. Velvet.
Arthur.
I ask no forgiveness. The sin is mine to bear.
Artorias!
I will make you pay!
Why, thank you, Berseria. You leveled me. Now, because that was considered, I think, a boss fight. Yeah, item-free victory over powerful foe. We got a ton of grade, so that 18 grade will go towards upgrading our equipment. So due to our combo count and damage, that gives us some bonus experience, if I'm not mistaken. So that also leveled us up pretty easily. So again, I think we got 150% multiplier on the experience, if I caught it correctly. And we now permanently have +5 art defense.
So did my world come to an end. And for 3 long years, I sat in that pit of darkness and fed. Devouring demons. So I could live. So I could live long enough to kill him. And be my brother's vengeance.
So I noticed something kind of interesting in that cutscene. It actually kept us in the villager outfit. That's the one downside to New Game Plus, is it will not dynamically change your outfit. So technically we should be in another outfit. I'll show it off, but I think I'll keep us in the villager outfit for now.
Where is he? First, there will be a test. It will decide if you are worth teaching.
Well, hello, Ceres. You have a resistance of wind. You're found in Titania Island prison, so... spoilers, that's where we are. All of her moves are flame type, and effective paralysis reduced by 100%. So we will not be able to use Rising Wind to paralyze her. So we'll keep that in mind. Her type is unknown, but that doesn't really help us. Also, it kept our number of defeats, I noticed. So we've defeated her once before. So let's see if we can do it again.
I will kill you. Ready yourself.
Ooh, she actually evaded me. Good on her. Does chat like me just evading in her face? This is so disrespectful. When you hear that ching noise, that means I evaded perfectly. She's trying, chat. She's trying. Ooh, she counter-evaded me. Good for her. Actually, speaking of which, let's go pick up that soul. Oh, she stopped the infinite. I think the boss has some prevention against this. Yeah, see, she evades automatically. Normally, that's where I would get the reset. I basically attack until I'm on the last one and then pause briefly. Oh no, I got it again. So the game has some infinite preventions. Good for you, game. You should probably not let me abuse this. But honestly, you really should not have given me Rising Moon so early in the game. Alright, well, let's not get Photon Blazed. Like, chat, that's just so silly. Well, that did a lot of damage. I don't appreciate that. I'm trying to feel the timing, chat. It's like you gotta delay just enough that it resets. I'm not sure how tight the window is for it. She does not have a Mystic Art, chat. This is way too early in the game for them, so we do not have to deal with that. She's just slightly too slow that I can keep re-interrupting her. So as long as I don't get juggled like that, I should be okay. So sorry, Chaos Mode. I'm still kind of destroying you.
Why are you holding back?
You noticed. Well done. You pass.
Of course. His Moloch would never be so weak as that.
I am his Moloch no longer. First, let me tell you what has transpired these past 3 years. There are exorcists now throughout the land, challenging the reign of demons with the help of...
Tell me. Tell me where Artorias is.
You may find him in the capital city of Logris in Midgand. You won't stop to listen. I can tell you what it was you saw that night. That night, the ritual he performed shifted the very course of the world. A host of Malachim descended, and with their strength, the emergent exorcists quelled the demon tide. Now, he serves as leader of the Exorcists' Abbey, an institution that enjoys the unconditional faith of the kingdom and public. A shield to guard the people and a sword against demons, Artorias Colbrand, the world's savior.
With power stolen by sacrificing Laphicet.
Indeed. But his power is not yet absolute. The man can still be killed.
Why are you doing this?
Make a successful escape from this place, and I'll explain.
Escape? So that's your game. Fine. I don't care what the world thinks of me. What matters is my vengeance against Artorias. That's all.
I have shattered your yoke. We must hurry.
Okay, chat. I will take a 1-minute break. I just want to refill water and then we'll continue. I promise I'll be right back real soon. Okay, sorry about the delay, chat. Let's switch back into the game. So yeah, we have a side switch that has occurred. So I see the chat was commenting on it. They'll get into that a little more as we go along. But we've leveled yet again, so that's not too bad. Now, one thing I didn't really mention before, and I wanted to mention before, is we'll hear different variations of Velvet's theme throughout the game. Like some of the motifs from Velvet's theme, I think we're playing in the sad version of that song. But that specifically, her theme is that piano theme when she was talking to Laphicet before. So I will show you what you normally wear when you come out of here. You could see her graphic is very different here. So I wanted to draw... Oh, it won't let me change it now. That's a shame. Well, anyway, she is supposed to be wearing a very torn up version of her villager outfit, and her hair is supposed to be much longer. So I can choose to descend back into our holding cell, but I don't think we get any additional dialogue. No. Well, we might as well just take this, whatever it is. We'll take the silver coin. Not that we really need it. We have so much money, chat.
You will need equipment. There are weapons in the room ahead.
Okay, so we'll need equipment, so let's go on ahead. Oh boy. So I will say the one thing I do not like is I do not like this prison. I am here way too often in this game, unfortunately, so this will not be the last time we see this place. But for now, all I could do is march forward. This is also one of the few times I might not even open the map because I've kind of memorized a lot of the rooms.
Raise the alarm.
I can see that.
Take what you need from here. It looks like they kept prisoners' effects in here.
Rope. This will be useful. Quite a blade.
I know that sword. Stormhowl. What is it doing here?
Well, it's too big for me.
You're not taking it? It's a celebrated masterpiece.
And if I can't use it, it's worthless.
So let's update Velvet's look when we get a chance.
Are you ready then?
What's going on here?
Poor guards.
Be careful. He's no ordinary soldier. He's an exorcist orderly.
Got you, got you!
You didn't even flinch.
I already told you. I am his Moloch no longer.
Is there a ship waiting?
So you already know we're on an island?
Yes. I've learned that this is a prison island for violent criminals, and that there are scores of demons locked away here. Demons say lots of things when they don't want you to eat them.
The prison has docks at both the front and rear entrances. Our ship is on the back side.
Got it. The back docks.
So, not a boss fight, but you can see we get things like I didn't take any damage in that fight, difficulty bonus multiplier, no items used. So as long as we just do well in general in combat, we'll get a small mana grade. Now, what was supposed to happen there, for a bit of clarity why it was showing all the zoom-ins, is that technically what should have happened is I believe she would have had the normal style hair, and I will go to her prisoner outfit. So when she first left the cell, she's supposed to be dressed in this. I'll just zoom it in slightly so you get a better look. But what was supposed to happen is when we open that chest, we then fix our outfit. So instead of the other ones, we are now wearing this. So this is her default outfit in the game. Well, now it is. So we'll upgrade to match the image. So we can see our hair has grown very long. We've been in there for 3 years after all. So hey, that should make us 19. We could go this way just for bonus dialogue, so I think we will. It won't open. Fair enough. So I'll be making like a bazillion saves, don't mind me. Aha, chat. The first orb.
What is this thing?
That's a special mass of mana. Think of them as the souls belonging to a family of Malakim. They appeared all over after the Advent 3 years ago.
Another after effect of the Advent.
If you collect enough of them, you might be able to solicit the cooperation of a Moloch family.
And I'm supposed to take your word for it?
I'm not forcing you to do anything. Whether you collect them or not is up to you.
I might as well pick them up. I'll use every tool at my disposal.
Indeed. You'll have to if you want your revenge.
So we are now at 4,543 of those. Normally we start with 1, chat. We have a slight advantage in the soul collecting. Now, just to show it off, I will... Well, I was gonna say, I will show the full screen map, but we'll do this cutscene first.
Coming. 2 of them.
This way.
Did you hear? The path around the island is off limits now. They say the ground's weak and could collapse.
The path that goes under the watchtower? That's alright. Nobody uses it anyway.
True, but it was a nice shortcut to the docks.
A shortcut to the docks. Under the watchtower.
A number of guards have gone missing. It would seem we have intruders on the island. All exorcists, break into 2 groups and converge at the front and rear gates.
Understood. No one will get past us.
Stay sharp. The threat could be serious.
Nothing will get past them, huh?
Yes, sir.
Something tells me the next 50 hours of the game are gonna say otherwise.
This isn't going to be easy.
Then we'll need reinforcements of our own. Where are the cells?
They should be on this floor. You plan on involving the other prisoners?
I'll use any tool I have at my disposal.
Prisoners are tools, confirmed. So it's sealed off the other areas. So one thing that I think is kind of neat in comparison with some of the other Tales games is that we can kind of rotate through to the different floors and we could see different events. We can also use this later on when we can potentially travel back to other locations just to see if there are special events there. So for now, once I get the... Yeah, like for example, I could see that that particular area leads to B2, then I can view how B2 works and kind of zoom the map in and out. So I mostly like the map in this system. I think maybe Zilia's might have been slightly better in some regards, because for example, I think in Zilia could click that dungeon icon and actually go to that floor, quote unquote. But I still think this one's pretty solid, If they used it again, I wouldn't mind. What happens if I try to leave, since this is normally how we would escape here?
The cells are on this floor.
That's right, chat. We have to get our tools. Let's go get our tools, chat. Speaking of which, we need to remember I got a mastery earlier, so that means I don't need this equip anymore. Let's go learn a new skill. And this item also confers to us a higher focus chance, which is good. I want to use paralysis more often. And we'll also take advantage of the higher art defense, which will help us against things like if we see fireballs, for example. That would probably be good for us to deal with. So one other thing we could do is we could click on our character manually, and we could see both our stats, how close we are to leveling, as well as what art we're going to learn next. So Swallow Dance is okay. We'll keep that in mind. The other thing I want to check is... trying to remember where that was exactly. Not the control mode. Oh, I'm sorry. Once I'm on this screen, if I hit the Y button, I can see what abilities have been learned by the protagonist. And these are just permanent buffs. So these master skills I can learn just by continually getting grade from combat, and then they're on me permanently. So I have a permanent 10% bonus to all focus, and kind of nice as is. If you happen to be wearing a weapon that gives you a master skill and you already have it for clarity, it does stack. So if I have a 10% to all attack and I already have the 10%, it should be 20%. Now, we are carrying over titles, which I don't think I had access to before. So that's where we were getting the attack up and I think the focus up. However, we unlocked a ton of different abilities. So let me just briefly scroll through these. So the way you would get them normally is you have to reach certain character levels, you have to use different techniques a certain amount of times. They impact the gameplay depending on the title. Like the martial and the hidden arts, if you like spamming certain moves more than others, you might as well do more damage kind of thing. I normally switch out to some of the other ones. I will acknowledge that these exist. Initial souls +1. I'm tempted to take this one, because starting with a +1 soul would be pretty good for us. But I think for now, what I'll end up doing is I'll just leave it on this one, because every time we get a kill, we'll get 50 health. And since we don't have the ability to cook yet, that actually does add up quite a lot. So all those titles were gained from our previous playthrough, just for clarity. Normally, you would only have maybe 2 to 3 titles at this point, based off of the number of arts used. Generally speaking, those are the ones you might get.
Who in the blazes are you?
Oh, that other person just broke my combo. What a jerk. You need to die. So we have like a quasi-party member. She's not technically listed below, so I can't switch to her, but she will interfere in the combat, which is kind of nice. Oh, she missed the combo. I was hoping she would keep it. Those poor enemies, chat. Rising Moon and Gouging Spin are just so silly in combination. So since we got the stun, we're now getting an extra move, which is great for us. Ooh, taking a little bit of damage there.
That should do it.
Hey, we actually got a win quote from her.
Listen up! I'm opening every door to every cell. We're getting off this island.
What the hell? You serious?
Split into 2 groups and rush the front and rear gates. Break through the gates and you'll have a ship.
But aren't they guarded by exorcists? I mean, that pirate Von Eifried's the only one who's ever broken out of here.
And he didn't pull it off just by himself. He was hauled out by some old exorcist named Melchior or something.
Von Eifried? And Melchior.
I won't force you. You want to rot in here? Then rot.
I'm with you. Anything's better than another day in this rat
Let's
hole.
do it. I'm going home to my family.
Me too!
Yeah!
Let me out,
Rogues
girl!
like us are always up
I'm
for a
sick of the
gamble.
slop they feed us.
Ceres.
Let's go! We'll murder those exorcists!
Open all the doors!
That ought to draw the attention of the guards. In the meantime, we'll search for that watchtower. From there, we can follow the outer path down to the docks.
So you're leaving them all to their fates?
I told you, we'll use any tool I need.
Pretty cold there, Velvet. So now we can talk to the different prisoners within the jail. So interestingly, as the chat might have noticed, while the werewolves in the main village were pretty violent, the other ones seemed to at least be getting along. They weren't attacking each other. So there's a bit more sentience being displayed. Hello, imprisoned man. He's wondering if it's better to run or to stay. They're thinking on one hand, they can't win against the exorcists, but they don't really want to stay here forever. Prison man says, tell me now, or I'll kill you where you stand. Already some arguments breaking out on whether or not to escape. Hello there.
You're not going to escape?
Don't underestimate the exorcists. They're all gonna die like dogs. Or goblins.
This Abbey that's in charge of this place. They're that amazing?
Amazing doesn't even begin to cover it. The exorcists of the Abbey joined forces with the Kingdom of Midgand. And they've got the whole world in their pocket. They're merciless. They hunt down any human who becomes a demon. Going against them means taking on the whole world.
And I bet I know who's at the top.
Those who get captured and sent here are the lucky ones. We may be monsters, but at least we have our lives.
Sure. Until they get fed to me. Thanks for the info.
Even if you manage to escape this place, thousands of exorcists controlling powerful Malachim will be out there waiting for you. There's nowhere for you to run. Nowhere.
I'm not going to run. I'll gladly die, as long as I take Artorias with me.
Goblin prisoner says, ridiculous. Resisting the Abbey's spells, only death. Oh, you have something more to say. Tisk, if only I had a ride, there'd be no problem. Oh, is that a reference to Zesteria, chat, when he had the little scooter? I think that is, chat. I think I missed that the first time I talked to him. Well, we'll collect one more soul, because it's there. Now, I will let you know if you're looking to collect a lot of souls. Going for individual souls like that is never worth your time, but because we were right there already, I was kind of like, whatever. We only want to gather them if they're in like groups of 12 to 16 minimum. Or if they're in our way towards progress. This prisoner wants no part in this particular prison break, so he's like, just stay away from me. Imprisoned Zombie says, I stay here. I like being undead. Better than being regular dead. The zombie's got a good philosophy on unlife, I guess you could say. See that soul chat? I'm ignoring those. Not worth our time. Just want to make sure I went into all of the cells. Well, there's a Tiger Man chat. And the werewolf, I think. I think Yantos was interested if I said the werewolf was here. So the prisoner says, you've attracted a merry band of fools, but we're not falling for it. The prison werewolf says, heck no, why would I help some perfect stranger? I might have killed 30 men, but that doesn't mean I want to join them. You know what, that's fair in prison werewolf. And a prison war tiger. Yeah, I was gonna say, their hands are massive, or at least on the tiger. It's like so much bigger than his head is. Well, anyway. He's like, well, and by he, I mean War Tiger. War Tiger says, that's right, if you have a death wish, by all means, go right ahead. We'll take a look at the different characters. It's very rare we see... he's very rudely scratching himself. But it's very rare we see the monsters in, like, a non-battle pose, so I think that's kind of interesting. No other monsters seem to be here. However, we come across a silver chest, which is described as a unisex boot customized for combat. So that's one thing I will say I do not miss from Zesteria. We do not need keys to open those chests, chat. Thank goodness. That was so obnoxious. So I might as well as equip these other boots we picked up and continue to learn the battle boot skill, just because it gives us 30 more health. So why not, chat?
Dear me, not a word of apology? people! There I was, sleeping like a sweet babe, when suddenly... From paradise down to hell! No worse, a grimy prison cell! You see why I'm not feeling well.
And you are?
Hooray! You asked! I'm thrilled to introduce to you the wise sorceress who travels the 11 seas, who scoffs at the might of dragons! None other than the acclaimed, the illustrious Machikikika Biludindo Dino Larundu! Magilu for short.
Magilu?
No, Ma! Like Soggy Shoe or Doggy Doo, or call me any of those things and I'll turn you into a froggy stew! I suppose you'll never understand. People can be so tragically unlearned. But hey, like I care.
I just love that first encounter. we just don't even say anything. We just turn around. We're like, that was a thing that just occurred. We just keep going.
Can't believe she snuck up on me. Who is she?
This is no ordinary prison. We must be cautious. Trust no one. She said she's a powerful witch.
Did she have a Moloch tethered?
No, I didn't sense Malakim around her. She's an ordinary human, I think.
Then she's an ordinary magician, not a witch. If she tries to trick me again, I'll crush her and be done with it.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take the northern door here. So as we heard before, there's a path we could take from the watchtower to potentially cross over to a different section of the prison. So let's slowly do that. Oh, there's another save point. How nice of the game to give us a save point. I'm sure it means that we'll have a completely safe travel all the way to our destination. Let's go ahead and open up the silver chest. So we got a void ring, which reduces damage from non-elemental attacks. So we actually got something in between the one we're using and the one we have now. I would say for the time being, I'm going to switch down to the void ring just because it's lower on the list. My general rule of thumb is I always try to go low and go from bottom to top, because we'll always get new items with better rarity, so there'll always be new items at the top, so it's easy to miss them if you don't do that otherwise. Well, that guy didn't do too well.
More? This one. He's a demon!
Get ready.
Deception!
Burning wings! Speed dragon!
You're not human.
Neither are you.
True enough.
See this? Deception!
See, the game tries to prevent the infinite. It's like, it's a little tight. Oh, she helped me. Thank you. Look at that, chat. We got the dodge on that. Combo extension, chat. Aw. He didn't like being looped on, chat. See, he could dodge, but we have so many attacks, it doesn't matter. There we go. That wasn't too bad, chat.
He's strong.
Chips in the blades already. Brittle, these exorcist knives. I've got to reclaim Stormhowl.
Stormhowl? That sword we found?
You found it? Where? Do you have it? Please tell me.
It's in a storage room. Down below.
Down below? You have my thanks.
He's an odd demon. If things settle down, we'll miss our window. Hurry!
Well, that was an encounter. So normally we would have gotten the sharpshooter Ventite there, which I think just improves our guard commands, which we discussed earlier.
Stormhowl. Could that demon be...
What is it?
Nothing. That demon swordsman was just strange. He was so full of fury, but when you started talking about that sword, his manner changed completely.
Don't think too much about it. He's a demon after all.
The prisoners here are all so unusual. Except for you.
Forget it. Like I care what a Moloch thinks of me.
Well, I will take that item there. So I believe what it wants us to do is to...
Sounds like it worked. Let's find that tower.
Not go this direction. But what I wanted to show was that we could get additional dialogue. So technically those points above us we can use later on. But we could see that things are not going too well there. So I'm just going to go back to the save point real quick. Not too bad. We got through that without too much of an issue. I want to say to the left we can also get bonus dialogue.
Sounds like it worked.
Oops, sorry.
Let's find that tower.
I turned myself around. But we did get new dialogue at least. Let's go up for now on the minimap. And now we can fight some casual encounters here. I'm trying to think which place gives us dialogue.
The tower should be just ahead.
Yeah, I don't want to go there yet then. There we go.
Got the gate to the docks locked down. We can't break through.
So the game is having us on a very linear path at the moment, which I'm okay with. Hello, orcs. What are you weak against? Only demi-human things. So if we defeat them, they'll drop Bloodblade. We've killed a lot of them, apparently, in our other playthroughs. So they mostly only do Earth-based moves. So if we had Earth resistance, it definitely makes them not as threatening. They have a ton of health, which has me a little concerned. But that's fine. Again, if the enemy gets stunned, we could do way more damage to them. As you can see, we were only doing about 21 as spin, but on the stun we were doing 42. So stun is very important in this game. It's also important that we don't get stunned like that. Now the real question is, do I have anything at this stage of the game that does demi-human? I do, Harsh Rebuttal has it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these and just make this button Harsh Rebuttal all the way through. Generally, once we get more moves, we'll be customizing our combos, but right now I just want some simple ones to abuse. She loves first aiding us. She'll keep us a little healthy at least. Poor enemies. Too slow, chat.
We're finished here. Let's hurry on.
60% bonus experience.
Here comes first.
And we've now unlocked the ability of the Battle Garment, so we take 5 less damage now forever. So thanks? Or roughly 5 less damage. Technically, we don't get that exact amount reduced. But more importantly, we can now switch over to the Silky Touch Garment, which gives us a lot of magic resistance, which will be useful. And we reduce all non-elemental damage by an additional 5%. So we might as well do that, chat. Now, I don't want to get into too many fights in the game until I am able to basically upgrade our weapons. So for the time being, I'm going to take some of the many apple gels that we purchased and just use them to heal myself. Chat is noticing that Ceres is not randomly running around corners. The AI in this game is pretty solid overall. They're not always the most aggressive, but I feel like they work, which is an important thing in the game.
We've just about quelled this riot. You won't be getting away.
So unfortunately, because she's not an ally, I'm not able to adjust her strategy. So if I were to let the game to automatically control our character, so right now, I think I forgot to mention, but if you see in the bottom left, it says semi-auto. Semi-auto just means you don't have to worry about spacing your moves. The character will move up to the enemy automatically. I could technically change the control mode to automatic and just let the game play for itself. Not recommended if you're playing on the high difficulties, but if you're just looking to, you know, go through the story and you're playing on a low difficulty, you could probably beat most of the game with that. But we're playing on Chaos, so I want somewhere between semi-auto and manual, depending on where I am in the game. And there are quite a lot of different things I can use to guide the AI a bit better, and I feel like generally it's pretty solid. These poor enemies, they cannot handle the too slow. Oh, I did get the dodge. Nice. Let's go ahead and pick up that extra soul. We need longer combos, chat. Ooh, their reach is kind of nasty. As you can see on Chaos mode, the enemies are fairly aggressive, and they do okay damage. If we didn't have the bonus health here, I would probably be in trouble. But fortunately, we have the bonus health. Oh, they were starting to loot me there. That was not... I do not appreciate that. Now, one downside to the difficulty is that First Aid will heal us for basically no health. If you were playing on normal, I think it would heal, like... Ooh, I don't want to give a bad estimate, but I would say probably 100 to 150 health compared to the very pitiful 31 that we're getting from it. So the higher difficulty we go, the worse healing arts are.
Let's go.
And unfortunately, since she's not technically a party member, I can't tell her to not do that. But later on, we'll be able to disable things like that.
Doomed. Time is short. We need to get down to the path.
Okay, and again, because we don't have any ability to heal ourselves now, we're just going to take advantage of all those apple gels we purchased. We'll ignore the shiny thing there. We don't really need it. Later on in the game, I will pick those up, even if I have high amount of cash, because we'll get things like fishing bait, which I will need for later. But right now, I can't get access to it, so it's not super interesting to me. We've made it to the top, chat.
The path has collapsed. That rope won't do any good here. Wait, you're not seriously going to try it, are you?
He fell further than this back at the shrine.
I see you were truly committed to this. You're strong. I would almost think you made an oath. It's a ritual that grants special powers if the oath taker abides by certain restrictions. The harsher the restrictions, the greater the power one may command. In a very real sense, an oath is a sort of
curse, right? Well, guess what? You're the ones who did this to me.
I am aware. That is why I chose you.
So we can see a little bit of from where we jumped from. Quite a height, chat. Quite a height. Hello, werewolf. I guess we could fight you, just because. Hey, we picked up our first herb, chat. Let's go ahead and use that probably after this combat, so we could get additional 2 defense from that. That would probably be good, given that our base stats right now, 122 versus 120. Not a huge increase, but they do add up over time.
Here I go!
It's very weak to martial arts and fire. Wow, this is just very unfortunate for the werewolf.
We're finished here.
Annihilated. She did so much damage, chat. And we picked up an amber belt. I'm just gonna see if that has anything nice on it. So that potentially has focus +5. Not too bad. We'll be moving to that pretty soon. I will not bother with the other souls. It's fine. So let's go ahead and save over this particular file. We'll continue forward. And what's also nice on the minimap...
This way leads to the main entrance.
If they know you're here, they'll have found your ship by now. The guards expect us at the rear, not the front.
Is that it marks on the minimap where things like treasures and the herbs are. So I think that's a nice touch, chat. There's a lot of little details in the UI that in the user experience overall that I really appreciate that they took more time on this game compared to some of the other games.
We're almost there.
That's enough.
Uh-oh, the villain music, chat.
Oscar, I had no idea an Exorcist Praetor had been assigned to this island.
You surprise me, Ceres. Aiding criminals now, are you? Did Lord Artorius request this?
No, I'm acting on my own.
A Moloch with free will? And yet, I sense someone's strings guiding you.
Hold on. A Praetor is far more dangerous than an orderly.
I'm all out of subterfuge. And besides, if we can't overpower this one, our end goal was hopeless to begin with.
You're a demon, but still a lady, so I'll show you due respect. I am Oscar Dragonia, Praetor of the Abbey of the Holy Midgand Empire. Who might you be? Huh. All right. Graceless demon it is then.
So I think because I'm in the New Game Plus, it will not mention this, but normally there's also a tutorial here that will explain power linking. So basically, as long as these two enemies are here, it will empower Oscar. So my goal is to kill these enemies, which tend to have much lower stats and much less health, so that way we could do full damage to the boss. So their weaknesses happen to be opposite swaps of fire and earth. So we could guess by the previous games that the Wind Moloch, this is probably a Wind Moloch maybe, and this one would be the water based off the outfits they're wearing. Graceless Demon, Oscar's got that Shadowheart naming set, it's true.
Lord Artorius himself taught me the ways of purification. How will you fare against them?
Oh, this is the one that's resistant to fire. Oops. So I need to use this one. Ooh, I dodged that spell point blank. Ooh. I am getting stunned a very long time. This is bad. This is really bad. Whoa. Whoa, hello. So this is very bad. Ceres is not helping me out here. I kind of need her to do something. I'm in trouble, chat. Ooh, hello. So this is what happens if you do Chaos Mode without all the bonuses. I do not have anything to reduce stun time, so stun is one of the most deadly things that can happen. And unfortunately, they both still have a lot of health. Hopefully I could get a stun out. That would help us out a lot. I did not get the stun. That's unfortunate. I'll take their melee attacks over these spell arts any day. So there's one dead. So that's good for us. So fortunately we have this guy's weakness, so we could do extra damage. I dropped the combo. So I think after a certain number of loops, the enemy will get out automatically. So I was trying to experiment with switching up the move a bit, but I chose it too slow of a move. Speaking of which... Okay, yeah, I just wanted to verify that. So this guy has a ton of health, so we're just gonna have to whittle through it. Unfortunately, I think Ceres is the only one that could really damage him at this point. But I'll try my best, chat. This is definitely going to be one of the harder fights in the game. So this is one of the reasons I definitely wanted to get Apple Gel. Unfortunately, he did that entire Apple Gel's worth of damage. Yeah, this is where, like, because I don't have the super equipment I could have started with, I will get punished. So this is a much harder fight than normal. Ooh, he is all over me, chat.
Yes, alleviate wounds.
Oh, I shouldn't Searing Edge him, that's right. So I'm not sure how much damage I have to do to him. I don't think it's his full health bar. But I do have to do some more damage. So fortunately I managed to get paralysis on him, so that was actually interrupting his moves to some extent. So hopefully we could do enough damage. We're actually not supposed to like win this fight, but we do need to at least do enough damage. Oh, that sucked. So I'm waiting for one very specific thing to unlock, and once that unlocks, chat, I promise you the combat will be much faster. But until this new mechanic unlocks, I will not be able to kill things quickly. So we're just gonna do our best to kind of juggle loop him a little bit, because there's not too much he could do about that, honestly. There we go, chat.
You're skilled. I will have to expend a mullock or two for this.
What are you doing?
Control your feelings to control the tide of battle!
More of your vaunted reason.
No!
Uh-oh, chat.
A Moloch with demon blight?
It's lost control.
Why, hello there, dragon.
My wounds are fatal. Please, consume me.
I'm not about to.
My form is bound by an oath whose price is my life. The time has come to pay. Feeding on my form will grant you strength, the strength to press forward. I ask only that you devour me.
Why?
A flame burns in my heart, too. A flame I cannot quench no matter how hard I try. Just like you, Velvet.
This was Laufey's.
That is why I cannot abide it. This frozen world. This frozen people. I'm just that stubborn of a woman. Hurry, before my life fades. Do it now.
I offer no apology or thanks.
I need neither. Our wishes are one and the same. I treasured those days When you and I and Arthur were together.
What is happening?
Move! If you don't, I'll eat you!
Okay, chat, so we have unlocked a new move. So if you were playing for the first time, it would try to handhold you through this, but we don't need the handholding here. So we've defeated the dragon exactly once before. Weakness is wind. Oh, excuse me, it's not a dragon, it's a drake, according to this. Though it looks like a dragon because it's got 2 front limbs, but that's fine. Oscar wakes up, why do I hear boss music? It's kind of true.
She absorbed that Marik's power to wield as her own? I've never seen such a demon!
There we go, this is what I wanted to do. So now I have a brand new move. So I can sacrifice one of the souls we acquired to basically power up, and that will also heal me. Now, as it flashed there briefly, if I use the Consuming Claw on somebody, I will basically get a special effect based off of the category of enemy I'm fighting. So if I choose to end the combo, I get a new special combo finish, which will always be the weakness of the enemy that I'm fighting. So now we have a good way of healing ourselves mid-combat, so we will need less items, I think, going forward. But also, consequently, if we're doing very poorly and we get stunned a lot, which causes us to lose souls, then we're going to be in a bit of a bind. So we do have to actually perform decently well on the boss fights. So because I got the stun, I'm able to do the follow-up combo. You'll notice very slowly my health is draining, and essentially the lower my health total, the more damage I do. Now, one thing the game doesn't exactly explain to you is that while you're in that powered up state, even though you're losing health, you cannot die. So I actually want to get lower and lower and lower on health until I'm basically at a point where I can do it again. So I can basically always tank 1 hit even if I'm at 1 health, or basically at 2 health. And at that point, the mode will end, but I don't die. So I can cheat death once while in it. Now the downside, as I said before, is you do lose health constantly. So because we don't have an easy way to get a lot of souls, we're still in for a challenging time, but at least we now have a good way of healing. So now that every time I get that stun, I'm basically just going to pop it so that we could do that attack. And you can see I'm very quickly regaining health. So because I popped it again, I might as well just finish the combo. And this is the kind of combo system in the game, at least for the protagonist. So while the enemy's down, that particular claw swipe will actually potentially off the ground the enemy, and will usually break their guard. So if they're blocking you a little too much, you can also punish them that way. Velvet is extremely overpowered, as the chat is saying in the chat. She's pretty much like the game will assume you only use her, and honestly, there's not a lot of reasons for you to need to switch. Like, the game plays the other characters fairly well, so technically you could just play as the main character all the way through. But we'll be showing off the different character strengths, so don't worry, it won't just be a Velvet-only run. Now, one other thing that you could do is that even though, as you saw before, I was in the demon form, I'm able to actually use the Consuming Claw, which puts me into the demon form again, to reset my combos. So I could do like 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit, claw, then 1 hit, 2 hit, and then do the combo finisher for a very extended combo. So we'll be abusing this combo reset mechanic later on. But as you can see, I basically end the boss fight at full health. This boss has no chance against us. I'm sorry, boss. We unlocked one of the most powerful abilities in any Tales game. I apologize. Goodbye, dragon.
Apologies, but I can't let a nasty demon like you roam freely now, can I?
Velvet!
Velvet's theme is playing,
That's
chat.
my name. You can give Artorias my regards. My name is Velvet Crow, and I will devour demon, Moloch, and exorcist alike! I am a monster! I am a Therian!
Oh! Finally someplace that might not be a death trap. When we tumbled from the tower, I thought, this is it, Moggy-Lou. This is the end!
It would have been less risky if you hadn't suddenly appeared and jumped on my back. Oh, hey, it's you. It's thanks to you that Stormhowl is back in my care. Rokuro Rangetsu, at your service. This blade is my life. I owe you a great debt, one I vow to repay.
Yes, she's a peach and a model citizen. Can we get our move on? I think they're just about done massacring the rioters.
The docks are just ahead. Give me a hand.
Nice, we leveled off of that, chat. We also got 16 grade, which should pretty much max everything that had any experience before. We learned a new skill, good for us. So now we get an additional 30 health on kill, slightly better art attack damage, which as I said before, our hidden arts use it, so even though we don't have magic per se, we still get some benefit from it. And more focus is nice. We get the Vampire's Glaciate, so I think I want to see what that does. Take a look at that. Normally what'll happen is I think at a standard gameplay, it will always show the description of the Glaciate if it's your first time, but I think they realize people don't want to see the descriptions over and over again, so fair on them for new game.
Weather's feeling as crummy as I am.
Careful, sea's looking mighty choppy.
Are you a sailor?
No, but I do know the difference between a sail and a rudder.
I'll take what I can get. Do what you can.
You're leaving without a proper crew?
Very well then. I certainly owe you this much at least.
Brave words. But 10 minutes in this storm and you'll lose all sense of direction.
No, we won't. Ships have compasses for a reason.
So it's rot in a jail cell or rot in a fish tummy? Well, guess it's your lucky day, fishies!
I'm coming for you, Artorias.
Mysterious boy, chat.
Laufey said... a Moloch?
Ah!
Stay back!
Oh no, the dreaded combo of eagle and werewolf. poor werewolf. Oh, it replaced one of my moves. So we learned Swallow Dance, which, I think the game wants you to use a lot, but I don't like it for a lot of reasons. It is one of our early elemental skills, but chat, I'm just gonna spoil. It's not great. Any move that leaves you in the air is absolutely not a good feeling in the game, so you will not see me use that. Even though the bird is weak against it, and I'm well aware it is, it does not feel good to use. I would much rather do this technique over and over and over again. Oh, harsh rebuttal. You aren't gouging spin, which can hit enemies for doing that. Actually, speaking of which, let's use a consuming claw on it. Hey, movement speed plus 50%. Oh, you thought you were out of my combo? Uh-uh. You're in my combo forever, guys. Goodbye. It's always Velvet's turn now, chat.
Word, a demon muncher. You really are a box of horrors, aren't ya?
Sorry. If I had a weapon, I would have helped. I promise.
You're wearing one.
Oh, nah, I can't use this. Sorry, long story.
And the child?
The little brat? Scampered off somewhere.
You ought to be scampering off yourselves.
My debt is not yet repaid. Until it is, I will not leave your side.
I can hardly scamper off without knowing from whence I'm scampering. We're lost, stranded shipwreck survivors, no?
Well, then I expect this might come in handy.
A map? Was that left by the child?
Looks to me like we're in Northgand.
Northgand? Then if we're to reach the capital in Midgand, we've no choice but to patch up our ship.
What are your plans once you reach Logris? Something worth breaking out of prison for.
Oh, can't we stand around and chat somewhere nicer? Somewhere with soup to warm the body, tales to warm the heart?
There's a city called Helavis nearby. I can't promise they're much for conversation, but we'll find food and a ship right there.
Okay, so pretty standard fight. So now that we got the R2 mechanic is called Break Soul, where basically we remove a soul from the bottom left. We could basically destroy everything now. You will see pretty absurdly long combos. Chad is talking about the Gans. Oh, Chad, there are so many Gans. Oh, you better be ready for just all of them. We've already heard about Midgand and Northgand, but we are far from the end of the Gans. Oh hey, one of the tutorials is still here. So it's just saying we can now access the world map. So that's fair.
Velvet, you know that kid? I thought I heard you call him by name.
No, I don't know any Malakim. Not anymore.
Anymore?
What?
Well, whoever he was, there was something different about him, that's for sure.
You can say that again. Using healing arts on a demon without being ordered to?
And he stole that compass, too. For being an exorcist Moloch, he's a greedy little imp.
Well, we did help ourselves to a certain map of his, so...
I consider myself an island of virtue in this sea of wickedness.
I suppose.
Come on, it's not funny if you agree with me.
You think?
So this is how escaped prisoners behave.
Okay, so they are not formally within our party, but they have joined us. So we'll keep in mind that we're still going to be in solo for quite some time. Now, I just wanted to see one other thing. Did I get... No, I did not get another move I'm looking for. That's fine, not a big deal. So, just to kind of briefly break it down, since the game will not explicitly talk about it, but it's not too bad to go through here. So we can assign our combos in this particular menu within the art menu. If we want to go ahead and look at all the total number of skills we've used, this is probably a better menu to do it. Now, if the character is controlled automatically, due to the fact that we set the control mode to that, or we swap to another character, we could go ahead and toggle what moves the character can do. So honestly, honestly, what would be kind of nasty is if you just want a really easy time through the game and you end up playing the other characters, just leaving on Gouging Spin and Rising Moon and turning everything off is a completely valid strategy. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty good. Now, we have another category for Break Soul and Mystic Art. So I briefly explained that Break Soul is the name that we get for hitting the back button. As we can see here, we can only do it when we have 3 or more souls. So we have to be careful we don't lose souls by getting stunned or getting status ailments or something like that. But generally speaking, it's a momentum-based game. So since I'm able to stun and paralyze often, I can get a lot more consuming souls, and I get more souls from killing people, so it just kind of spirals out of control. Now, there will be unique finishers depending on the enemy type we use the consuming claw on, and we could see there are quite a lot for us. Now, once we get another party member, there's something called a switch attack, or a switch blast, whatever you feel like calling it. And essentially that means that the character can automatically attack as soon as they're swapped into. So it can be useful to swap mid-combo if you feel comfortable with it. I would say experiment with it. As you can see, the side effect we could give the enemy is we actually take their attack power. So not only do we reduce their damage, but we boost our own attack. So the moment we get multiple party members, we will probably be using this to some extent just to do more damage. I think that's about all I want to cover here. Now, I'm going to say, chat, when we start the next session, I will say I will officially open it up to other outfits. So I want the chat to think about some designs for the accessories. But we're at a point that I think we've seen enough of the default outfit. We saw the prison outfit very briefly, and we saw the villager outfit.
Magilu, your way of speaking is as strange as your appearance.
Hey, I'm a witch. I must project a proper age and dignity. I have an image to maintain.
Self-improvement in all things, I suppose. So what's the difference between a spellcaster and a witch?
There are many, but mainly it's a matter of nuance. It's like the difference between being frugal and being miserly.
Ah, so a spellcaster is useful and a witch isn't, is that it? So I guess that makes you a witch right now.
You wound me. You're one to talk, Mr. Self-Improvement. Your words cut deeper than these northern winds.
Okay, actually, yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to open up the accessories, I think, for the next stream. I want to make sure we, get a little further, just because I want certain cutscenes to kind of play out certain ways. But I will say, just to clarify something, so right now, since we are in Chaos difficulty, we get 1/5 of the healing, specifically. And also, in comparison, we have to wait 16 seconds for the item use meter to basically clear itself, compared to 2 to 4 seconds if we were doing some of the lower difficulties. So we're definitely limiting ourselves in that way. However, a big difference between what we're doing now and the normal difficulties is we're going to be using a lot of Break Soul. So Break Soul is not reduced by the difficulty meter, and that's why we were healing like 200 something health. A little bit of added clarity. Now at this point in the game,
Wind, it bites! How can you stand wearing that garb? It doesn't seem humanly possible.
I never said I was human.
so at this point in the game, we can experience multiple enemies at once. However, we have to get a bit further in the game before we unlock a mechanic called a dangerous encounter. Now, a dangerous encounter will be something we will probably abuse for some leveling. And basically it just means, like, multiple waves of enemies will enter the fight at once, so as you kill others, more will spawn. Kind of like the Crucible idea in Zesteria. The big difference between a dangerous encounter and a regular encounter is not only do you get better rewards, but all the enemies are much higher level. So you could kind of spiral out of control with gold, items, and grade, just because you can suddenly have a ton of enemies fighting you all at once. Now, we have to, as I said before, we have to get a little further in order to take advantage of it. But also notice a new mechanic has unlocked, which I don't think it explains in the normal game, but basically every time we get into an encounter, we increase our grade bonus. So right now we're getting 10% more grade, but we could take advantage of that. And as long as we keep getting into fights, we could build it all the way up to a doubling of grade. So that poor enemy was stunned, and I will apologize to him because he has no chance against Consuming Claw. So we're already getting a fair amount of items. Now, I did something that was silly, And that was, I went into combat without swapping weapons. So I want to make sure we go to the next thing to unlock. So technically, this is a weaker weapon in terms of stats compared to the Blood Blade. However, the Master Skill +5, I think we not only want to learn, but take advantage of. So this is just a straight up stat increase. Similarly, I think we'll ignore the time you can't use for items. We'll just take the focus up. Focus will also let us recover MP more easily on top of the status ailment chance. So we'll try to take that in the beginning of the game. And we have a few different boots we could potentially use. So unfortunately we lose a little bit of focus, but I think it's time we should probably move on to learning more master skills. You will get title improvements based off of the number of times you control a character, for example. As you can see, even though this was from another playthrough, we still have not mastered most of these titles. So who knows? We'll see how far we get. I've inflicted a lot of stuns. That I'm not really surprised about. Oh, chat, we need more souls taken. Now, one thing we'll end up doing later once we unlock the blacksmith is I will probably be putting on the consummate collector just to get more items. But otherwise, I'm looking for things that will increase our souls. So one thing I want to be very, 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 very cautious about is that because this is a new game, there's also one caveat. If I get into too many encounters here, I can potentially come across a wandering enemy. Now, normally the wandering enemy is sort of like a boss, right? Like, it would be at this stage of the game, like, if these enemies are level 10, I think on Chaos mode, it might be like level 25, maybe level 30, like significantly stronger. It's definitely doable to beat them. And if you beat them, you get a lot of grade and you unlock new orbs, which is good. However, because I carried over the titles, which remembers what enemies I fought, unfortunately in the end of the game, there is an upgrade to this particular boss. And instead of fighting like a level 30 boss, it will throw upon us a, like, 155 monstrosity. So, if we hear the danger music, we need to run, because I do not have any items carried over to help me deal with this. So, I will try not to abuse encounters at all. Plus, we probably don't want to do that in general, since we have no party members. So we got something to increase our art damage. You know what, chat? We might as well just boost our base stats. Why not? We'll also get another 2 to defense there. Ah, chat, we're coming up to something that should be familiar to people that have seen the game before.
Free again, able to move these bones around like I want.
So, Rokuro, what got you all chained up in that mold hole?
Ties to home. It's complicated.
Oh! Then are you really sure you ought to be taking on further debts?
It's a teaching of House Rangetsu. Pay what you owe.
Well, what a civilized family you've got.
Were you in for long?
3 years, maybe. That's why I know so little about the state of the world.
Oh gosh, me too! Art-wielding Malakim! I've never seen such a thing! How much else have I missed? Used to be witches who had a monopoly on charms and hexes. Can you even comprehend what this'll do to business?
Should I even ask why you were imprisoned?
Bagged for unlicensed witchcraft. It was a tale of betrayal most wicked and foul! Care to hear more? You'll cry, I'll laugh, emotions will touch the rafters!
No, thank you.
Poor Velvet. Hit a little too close to home. We'll take these souls since it's on the way to the mysterious pink chests, chat. I wonder what those pink chests do.
Oh no, I'm in so much trouble, Won't somebody please help a kitty out, meow?
Oh look, another weirdo.
That thing talks? What if it's a cat demon?
Simmer down, big man. She's just a cat. Haven't seen one in a good long while.
Cats? Is that different from a regular cat somehow?
It's complicated. Cats are a mysterious bunch. Just think of them as a special kind of Moloch. Sort of.
That works for me. I understand that they're hard to understand, at least.
Hey, I don't suppose you happen to be carrying any cat spirits on you? They look like this.
That's just like what I found at Titania.
Perfect. You could say they're kinda like our souls to us.
Cat spirits, huh?
Sometimes we call them kitten caboodles, too.
That's just foolish.
Really? Then how about kitty clumps? Anyway, one night we were having a feast so meowvelous, our souls flew right out of our bodies. That's why I need your help to find the cat spirits and use them to emeowsipate my friends.
Emeowsipate? Really?
It means to use cat spirits to free cats who are locked away in cats' boxes like these here. Meow. Here you'd say apesipate. This one would be edogsipate. And finally...
Phew! I'm free, Meow!
See? Emeowsipate!
By that logic, shouldn't it be ecatsipate?
Wow, you're way more clever than you look! For real! I guess I totally underestimated you. Please, our cat spirits got scattered far and wide, and so many sad cats are trapped without them.
Seek out the cat spirits and rescue our poor lost brothers and sisters, Meow!
And why should I?
Please, think of the cats!
You know, cats have weird and mysterious powers. There's a good chance we might benefit by having them in our debt. We'll make it worth your while, I promise! And if we snub them, they might put a curse on us.
That has been known to happen. Ew.
If we're doing all this traveling anyway, why not help them on the side?
Just remember that it's on the side.
Okay, so the game is now going to explain the cat spirits. So we've already collected quite a few. Now, in order to open up those pink chests, we have to use a lot of cat spirits. People that have seen the gameplay before, it goes from a reasonable amount to, oh my, why does it need so many? So fortunately, we have accrued 4,000 something from our previous playthrough. So that will help reduce a lot of cat soul collecting. So thank you, chat, for allowing that to go through in the New Game Plus. So this is just kind of hinting towards something. So normally what would happen is that roughly every other chest, we would get a fashion accessory as we go through. However, if we go through, not all of them, but I would say like a majority of them, I don't recall the exact number offhand, but let's say a large majority of them. Once that happens, we'll unlock access to a place that we have seen in the previous game, Berseria, but more importantly, we'll get more bonus content. So our goal is to not ignore any of these chests. Now, as I said before, we don't have to find all of them, but they are pretty easy to get to. And it's better to get the earlier ones because they cost less. So I think, chat, what I want to do from a pacing perspective is I'm actually going to stop here because we're going to get access to quite a few things in the next area. And I think from a story perspective, it might make a little sense to say arriving in the city and seeing its strife would make a good start to the next episode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that we're going to pause here for now. I'm just going to quickly do the quick save off stream. And we'll talk a little bit about thoughts so far in the game, and in terms of expectations to be set, and just other things of note that I might have missed, because there's a lot to talk about in the beginning of the game. So I will have to think about it for next session in some regards for the mechanics. But generally speaking, yeah, we can pause for now. I saw that, Chris. I saw that cat's pun. But generally speaking, if you're playing a New Game Plus, the hardest part of the game is trying to make it to that dragon. As you could see, I needed quite a lot of apple gels to go through. But hopefully from this point onward, I will not use a single item outside of healing between combat until we get something later to automatically full heal us, which is insanely powerful. And that will help us deal with the majority of the game. At this standpoint, we don't have too many moves with Velvet, but I can already do like a 30 to 40 hit combo without any issue. As you could see, the game does not realize how abusable Rising Moon is, so we could kind of cheese certain fights. That will not work on non-humanoid monsters for the most part. There will be ones that will be very large, especially if we fight like another dragon, so we'll have to do different strategies for them. And as we kind of go through, we'll be tweaking our combo based off of what enemies we see and maybe some of their weaknesses. Because some of them are like easier to juggle, some of them are better just to play keep away on. And hopefully from that, we'll kind of expand and explore on the combo variety. But right now, since we don't have too many moves, we don't have to worry about that. In terms of things for tomorrow's session, we'll be arriving in the new city. And I will officially say, since I think this is the first time you get an accessory, I think normally, or it leads into the accessories, I'm going to say close enough. And I will open the floodgates for people that want to put people in very silly costumes. Now, there is only one character I might say to hold off on, and I will probably mention it to some of the people outside of the stream, because I don't want to spoil some things, because it causes some confusion due to the name of a very specific character. So I will not go into that character, or I'll put it this way, another female we haven't seen yet, and I think chat knows who that is if they've seen the game before. So those two are off limits for now, but I think when we do get our next batch of party members, I'm going to say go to town, because I don't think there's anything spoilery in the other characters, so we'll try to avoid the other outfits for those characters. I didn't have a chance to really beat the boar. It is, as I said before, very difficult to do without carrying over items. I will leave it up to the chat if you want to see me rematch it at some point, or if you just want me to completely delete that enemy with a actual New Game Plus save file. But that fight will be pretty hard. But I promise you we'll beat every other enemy in the game other than that one on Chaos Mode. If we want to go through the bonus dungeon, I will say it will probably only lower the difficulty then, just because some of the normal fights are actually pretty difficult. Like, I could do the bosses on Chaos, but actually things like the some of the reptile creatures are kind of nasty. But I think for now, we'll try to leave it on Chaos pretty much almost through the entirety of the game, at least until we beat the game. And I'm sorry, there's also literally one other exception that I refuse to do the fight on anything other than simple. And I'll leave it at that, because you'll see what I mean when you get to it. So hopefully you've been enjoying Berseria so far. I think it's set a very interesting tone so far. We have a little bit of lighthearted elements mixed with very dark content. So far I like the framing of it, and as I said before, this particular episode I recommend you rewatch. Although I'm sorry now that the boar is between the two village segments, but we'll be referring back to a lot of events, including things like titles of the books that we were looking at, or placements of certain objects, or some of the conversation the NPCs have said. Also the quiche. Gotta find the husband and make the quiche. Surprisingly, a lot of little details like that do show up again in the later chapters of the game. Whether it's from a character mentioning it to another one, or different things that we see along the way. And I'll leave it vague for now. But there's a reason I want the chat to go back to this particular segment later on. So I'll also make note of it when to go rewatch it before the stream. Because I'll know, chat. There's a very obvious event that when it happens, it'll be like, okay, chat, go back to the beginning of the game. So other than that, I don't feel like we're super overpowered, which is a good feeling for a semi-challenge run. So thank you again, chat, for allowing me that bonus 1,000 health, because otherwise, it would have been kind of rough getting comboed this early in the game. So I think from our character goal perspective, we're looking to basically bum rush the plot until we get party members and the blacksmith, where we can perform weapon upgrades, as both are very, 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 very crucial for us if we want to go through Chaos Mode without doing a lot of retries. So hopefully we will only see that one retry on the literally optional bonus boss that is not intended to be beaten the way that we did. So hopefully we do not see any other game overs for the rest of the game. But we'll see. We'll see. So I want to say with that, thank you all for joining. I do appreciate the comments, and I did go back and add the extra Zesteria quote. There is a request for dirty dancing, so that has been added. If the chat has anything they hear from the different battle quotes, or even things in the skits, just let me know, because it is fairly easy to isolate the sounds in this game just by replaying small segments of it. So just let me know if anything strikes you at the time. That way I could kind of go back and find it again for recording purposes. But I think for now, it's safe to say that I hope you all have a good day or a good night, depending on the time zone.